Hi everybody. Hi. Um Nature is healing. Cinderella phenomenon is back. So back. Okay. I have to fix chat. Sorry, I keep fucking forgetting. Um all right, let's fucking get in there, man. I haven't opened the game in a minute. So I have to shit. Um I have to delete our old save file and redo Karma's route. I don't know how to do that cuz to my knowledge from what I recall, and I could be lying to you. The um it should be a we pick our character from the jump situation. I don't really remember. Okay. The sound is working. Thank God. I was concerned. There it is. Okay, maybe the start. Okay. Thought it wasn't going to show up for a second, but it did. Okay, start is good. The font kills me still. Okay, shut the fuck up. I think I have it saved somewhere. Okay, I'm not reading all this mentally ill shit. Just let me pick the fucking character. Hold on. I need our walkthrough. Because that's the only way we can play the game, is if someone tells us how to do it properly. Because I do not understand any of the characters, any of their motivations, and how to date them properly. So, whoa. There we go. I fucking love that this was $11. They hit the brush button so hard. Oh my god, I forgot his name isn't Karma anymore. It's Claude. I will never in my life care about that. Oh yeah, Rod's purple for some fucking reason. Whatever. It's fine. We've played, like, I think a couple hours of this, but I don't know how much. I miss the music so much. Okay. The big TV. Well, thank you. I'm honored. If I were you, I'd give up now, Princess Wagon. You ought to just surrender, darling. What kind of villain says darling? Wagon, this is where you play along. I take a deep breath, then force myself to glare at him. I will never succumb to you. Love her. I parry Claude's sword moments after he lands a blow on the edge of my blade. His momentary surprise fades into concentration as he rushes me again, sword raised high. Yeah! We are so back. You're welcome, it's awful. Because you're super slow. Sorry, because you are going to be able to hear me, like, very quickly, and then, like, seconds later, it will be the same thing. And that is your cross to bear. This time, I am unable to parry, and when our swords connect, it is all I can do to keep my stance. Claude's face is inches from mine. A cocky smile lights his face, but his calm is unwavering. Use any means necessary to best me, I dare you. At this proximity, I can see the flecks of color in Claude's eyes, the flicker of golden light on gentle green. His eyes will always remind me of this forest. I steal my eyes away from him and glimpse at the rest of his body to search for an opening. How should I attack him? Let me check. Use the sword. This is a sword fight, and I will win with the sword, not my magic. I do not need to trick Claude to best him. My eyes fall on Claude's arms. His stance is rigid and unwavering. It is a sign that he is trying to keep his whole body steady and his defense solid, but I slide the edge of my blade against his sword and duck out of the way as he slices past my head. Claude's eyes widen as I lower my weapon to elbow him in the gut. That's not the sword. That doesn't count. My elbow barely connects before he takes a step back and grabs a hold of my arm. A valiant effort, my love, but I'm afraid you found the wrong opening. As always, his cockiness is one of his weaknesses. I flip the pommel of the sword and grip it with my other hand, then aim it at his stomach. Claude releases my wrist and dodges out of the way. We both raise our swords at the same time, and our weapons once again collide. Miss the slant case in serial action. So true. Except for the occasional, like, shifting of the characters, like, back and forth or something, to signify that they are entering the room. I force myself to step forward, even beneath the weight of his sword. Then, arms shaking, I slowly slide my sword away. Ah! I fucking love reading exclamation points, man. It's my favorite. Claude's blade stops inches from my shoulder, but my sword is closer. I aim the point at his heart with a smile. Every time I put myself in a dangerous situation, Claude pauses. That gives me the opening I need. And with that, I seal my victory. Claude sets his sword down and holds up his hands, a sly smile playing on his lips. Fair enough. It seems you have bested me today. But only because you cheated. I did not cheat. You told me to best you in whatever way I could, so I... We are so back, if you know what I'm saying. Claude lowers the sword I have pointed at his heart with a carefree laugh. He takes a step forward, suddenly close enough we could touch noses. You... The rest of my words fall apart when Claude presses his lips to mine, silencing me. For a few moments I stand frozen. The only sounds I can hear in the stillness of the forest are my own erratic heartbeat and the gentle flutter of leaves. Slowly I begin to kiss him back, moving my free hand to his back. When he pulls away, he is still somehow smiling at me mischievously. You said seal your victory, but you know that a victory isn't sealed without a kiss. It's worth seeing you cheat just to see you turn that adorable tomato red. I didn't cheat. I watch as Claude leans down to pick up his sword. He winks at me. Oh yes, the animated sparkles! I forgot that this game is slightly more animated than the first game. Not $11 worth of animation, but animated. Oh yeah, I forgot they fucking blink now too, don't they? I've been reading, so I haven't really been paying attention, but I think they blink. Anyway, yes, I know. All's fair in love and war, as they say. I groan at Claude's response. He always manages to say things nonchalantly, without even batting an eyelash. I have just readied my retort when something breaks the silence of the forest around us. Hope we're not interrupting anything. I whirl in place. Oh shit. Oh no, I have to remember all of their voices. I whirl in place to stare in the direction of the new voice. I'm surprised to see Garland. Oh wait. Levy Sparkles! Okay, I've remembered their voices. Nobody panic. Garland and Jurian, combine their names almost, standing a short distance away beneath a copse of trees. How long have you two been standing there?
Long enough to see the thrilling end to that match.
I think that was her.
I didn't realize that sealing a victory meant ending a battle with a kiss.
I stare at her in horror. That was...
I'm just teasing.
Garland is back, baby. Garland smiles as he runs a hand through his hair. What a good day for a victory, though. One could say it was almost a birthday gift. It's not a gift at all. Wagon earned this victory herself. The only victories I accept are the ones I earn myself. You see? I know Wagon like the back of my hand.
I would hope you know your fiancé like the back of your hand.
I cannot help that my cheeks warm at Jurian's words, even Oh yeah, I forgot. What's this supposed to be about if not a marriage proposal? Because that was what Rod's Evermore arc was about. Was proposing. So his whole thing was like, I'm keeping a secret from you. The secret is proposing. if we're already fiancés, what are we doing? Like, I guess that's why we're playing. Anyway, I cannot help but that my cheeks warm at Julian's words. Even though I have been Claude's fiancé for the last few months, most people do not bring up our engagement so casually. Claude sidles closer to me and wraps an arm around my waist. Can you see the dialogue? You can't. Why? Has it always been like that? Because you can see the characters, so obviously things have been changing for you. Maybe it just froze. Whatever, it's fine. We'll swap it to this instead. Hopefully I remember that I need to do that one. Okay. You really are so adorable when you're embarrassed. If you even begin to tease me, my sword will find your hand. Your threats are as sweet as your compliments. He smiles at me mischievously before stepping away and glancing at Jurian and Garland. I hope the two of you didn't come for a personal lesson. You know that I have an important matter to attend to, no? I stifle a sigh. I know just as well as Jurian and Garland that Claude has something he needs to pick up in town today. Most likely, it is another gift for me. Claude plans to give me a birthday gift every day of the week leading up to my birthday. He did the same thing last year and the year before that. Damn, how long has it been? But this year, his first birthday gift was rather extravagant. I cannot believe that bouquet of lilies he brought me yesterday had to be delivered on a cart. I wonder what kind of gift he plans on bringing by today. 6 days remain until my birthday, which means that the gifts will become more extravagant from here on out. I think I'd kill myself. It is usually the gift he gives me on my birthday date that is the most heartfelt and special, but I cannot help but look forward to smaller surprises regardless. His efforts are always so showy, and this is what makes them feel like Claude. Besides, he always puts so much thought into the gifts, extravagant or not. I turn back to the conversation at hand. The two knights are still discussing some sort of training regimen. The exchange goes on for another few minutes before Claude turns to me and smiles. By your leave, darling, I shall rush off to town and pick up your gift. I promise that you will absolutely love this one. Hopefully it doesn't need to be delivered on a cart.
Or involve some foreign choir.
Or a cake so large it takes 4 people to carry it up the stairs. You two are just jealous you didn't get to deliver those items yourself last year. That cake was made by the best baker in the whole kingdom, and that choir... I cannot help the laughter that escapes my lips. Claude abruptly stops talking to plant a kiss on my head. He gazes at me with a fond smile before shaking his head. Enough dawdling. I have to go now if I want to make it on time for our designated meeting. I promise I won't be late, wagon. The, forest footsteps were a little unnerving. They were very, very quiet, so I don't know if you could hear them or not. I'll turn it up a little bit for you, so you can hear the unnerving sounds a little better in the future, as well as the music. He grasps my hand briefly before rushing off. I notice that in his hurry he has forgotten to sheath his sword. Claude, your sword. He lets out a soundless sigh as he sheaths his sword and rushes off. Sorry I won't be able to chat a lot. Hopefully you'll hit the Yakuza for a while. Fully engrossed in the game. Hopefully, crossing fingers we get there, but thank you for the lurk, which is technically what you're doing. You just don't refer to it like that. And rushes off, leaving me alone with the two knights. Looks like someone's got their head in the clouds.
Doesn't he always when he's around the princess?
Did she cut her hair? She used to have an ugly-ass ponytail, and I can't tell if she's got it anymore. The two glance at each other, some silent amusement flickering between them. Did you come out here just to spy on us?
Of course not, your highness.
We were on our way out of the palace when Princess Emmeline stopped and asked us to deliver a message. A message?
The princess requires your assistance.
With what? She didn't provide any details, unfortunately. If she didn't explain what it was for, then it is highly likely that this is about that surprise celebration she wants to throw me. But is it still a surprise if I know that it is happening? Garland and Jurian glance at each other for a few moments, some hidden message conveyed in their gazes. Garland claps a hand on Jurian's shoulder with a smile. I'll escort the princess back. I'll meet up with you before the hour's up. Jurian puts her hand over his, but only briefly, before she nods at him.
Don't be late, otherwise I'll start eating without you.
Garland slides his hand off her shoulder as she turns to walk away from us. Once she is out of sight, the two of us begin our walk back toward the palace. Garland stops when we arrive at the gates. He turns to me with a bright smile. Here we are, princess. Oh. He looks at me quizzically. I just noticed you didn't have a knight escort with you today. A few weeks ago, I was able to convince Father that we no longer needed an escort in the forest. I feel it is better that way. It feels more special when it is just Claude and I there. Besides, I am the Tenebrarum bearer and Claude is a talented swordsman. We have nothing to fear when we are together. No, the king should be able to fill you in on that situation. Just say, no thank you, don't need a knight anymore. It would take maybe 2 seconds of explanation. But sure, go off, I guess. Garland looks at me, thoughtful, then he nods. Princess Emmeline should be in the dining hall. Is there anything else that you require? Nothing that I can think of. You're free to go back to your date. Garland flushes a crimson red that makes me laugh. Despite how discreet he and Jurian try to be, it is very easy to see the two of them are courting each other. It has been that way for the last 2 years. I narrow my eyes at him. How goes the matter Claude and I discussed with you? Have you spoken to Jurian yet? No, not yet. Garland shakes his head, eyebrows furrowed. The timing doesn't feel right. I'll propose to her after your birthday party or your wedding, but right now we need to focus on security for both of those celebrations. You two are hardworking to a fault, you know. It's an occupational hazard, I'm afraid. I shake my head with a sigh. That dedication is what makes Jurian and Garland two of the most competent knights we have in Angel. After I excuse him, he bows and then turns to walk away. I'm about to walk in through the front gates when he suddenly calls my name. Oh, Princess Wagon, did Prince Claude say anything about when his brother was scheduled to arrive? God damn, Garland talks a lot more in this game than he did in the first one. The first one, he was just like, I'm just sitting here. And that was kind of it. He's like, I have a crush on Jurian. And all of his sentences is really short, but for now, suddenly he's like, I am going to talk the absolute most. Oh, right. I had nearly forgotten that Claude's brother Lance is supposed to arrive the week before our wedding. Claude insisted that he come as late as possible. He should be here at the beginning of next month. Garland looks at me for a few moments, a troubled expression on his face. Is something wrong, Garland? It's nothing. Garland smiles before turning and walking away. I watch his back, contemplating calling him back. Instead, I find I find my thoughts turning to the last time I mentioned Lance. You've been sulking all day. Is something wrong? I sit beside Claude on the bed, my hand resting on his knee. He stares out at my window, his gaze glassy. They should not have done black and white. All the colors are very samey, so the values are really dog shit, so it's hard to look at. They should have done like a dimmer, duller. Well, I guess that just goes to show that the rest of the colors are bad, but no matter. You would laugh. I would laugh at you anyways. Claude's lips quirk slightly before he angles his head toward me with a sigh. If you must know, it's my brother. Lance? Yes, Llama. I raise an eyebrow sharply. What about him? Did he write something strange in his last letter? Not so much strange as annoying. He proposed visiting Angel 1 week before our wedding for a preliminary celebration. I fail to see the problem. The problem is that it's Llama. He attracts unwanted attention wherever he goes. You've met him before. You understand what I mean. I can't believe his fucking arc is a brother beef. He's like, my brother's hotter than me and it makes me angry. And that's his problem in this game. That's the arc. Oh man. The last time I spoke with Lance was nearly a year ago. He and his mother came to visit Claude and you have a mom? Get her in here. Gotta see that. He and his mother came to visit Claude and Angel and brought everyone in the palace a terrifying amount of gifts. He was a lot like you. Ah! I am offended, darling. We are nothing alike. I am radiant like the sun, and Llama is a magnet. He has a way. I was about to reread the whole thing. I don't know why they did it like that. He has a way of stealing the spotlight always. You're worried he'll steal the spotlight from you? Claude looks at me, disgruntled. I'm right, aren't I? Not at all. I'm worried he'll steal the spotlight from you. I slide closer to him. Claude, I will be fine. I do not crave attention like you do. This is such a shitty arc. Oh my god. Crave attention? Me? Yes, you. Do not deny it. But you... I put a finger to his lips. You already give me enough attention as it is, and that's all I really need. Claude pulls my hand away from his mouth and gently kisses my palm. He smiles a little sheepishly. If you insist, then I'll write back to my brother and tell him he can come early. I just hope you won't regret this decision. Lance has been very popular in Angel's ever since he first visited with his mother, but no matter his magnetism, he certainly won't distract the townspeople from a royal wedding. I would not say that, but sure, go off, queen. I am sure that Claude must have something planned for the week before the wedding and just does not want Lance taking anyone's attention away from it. It will be fine. I shake my head to clear my thoughts before turning to head back into the palace. The hallways are bustling with activity when I enter. Many of the gathered servants and maids stop chattering as I approach. At ease. Aren't you all supposed to be on break? What the fuck are they, soldiers? They're... okay. Ah, princess, we were just enjoying our break outside. I glance around at the gathered staff. I am certain that these people do not usually take their breaks together, even if they do happen to share the same off times. I see. Have any of you seen Emmeline? The princess is in the dining hall with the royal chefs, princess. I thank the maids with a little bob of my head before making my way to the dining hall. The dining hall is just as lively as the hallway, if not even more. Appetizing scents waft, don't say that word often enough to really have a bold opinion on it, through the air, mingling to create an overly piquant aroma. I spot Emmeline amidst the crowds, testing colored liquids in different chalices. She raises a chalice to her lips just as I arrive before hurriedly placing it back on the table. Oh god. Oh, wagon! You look guilty of something. Not at all. I glance around at the different chalices. Emmeline's shoulders droop with defeat. I was trying different cocktail concoctions for your birthday dinner. It was Claude's idea that we mix something completely original for you. I was debating what type of cocktail to make for you. Strawberries and bananas? Something with cucumbers and lime? I feel terrible because I don't know what your favorite flavors are. That can't be helped. I don't think I've ever spoken about my preferences with you. Still, I must make certain that this drink is perfect. She gestures to the various chalices, then points to the one at the far end. It is filled with a white blue. They can never be. Yeah, I love her! Girl, you're my angel. You're my darling. That's her. She's so girl. White blue juice, and has a familiar creature sitting on the top of the glass as a decoration. Oh, it's a little guy. Yes, I love little guys. Well, if this was Claude's idea, I'm not surprised he used a chameleon to decorate the chalices. Years ago, when I first met him, Claude enlightened me with stories of his childhood. Apparently, he has a special attachment to chameleons. Sometimes, when the two of us are practicing together, he even refers to himself as the Chameleon Prince. He says that he did it so we could have matching titles, but Chameleon Prince and Ice Princess do not match at all. I like that you both have titles. Stop bitching. He's trying to match. I stare at the chameleon topper. And is this birthday celebration really for me, or is it for him? I've actually been trying to come up with a name for it because I haven't thought of anything yet, so I thought it might be nice for you to choose it. It will be distributed in the marketplace after we unveil it at your birthday, after all. What? Claude insisted that the populace have some way to celebrate with you. That's actually really sweet. From like a governmental position of authority to a people. I think that's kind of interesting. Anyways, since we're going to distribute it in your name, I thought I'd ask you what you wanted me to call the drink. A name for the drink. Ow! Hit the mic. The chameleon. Even if it is very dramatic, this was still thoughtful of Claude. Since he's been working so hard for this celebration, he ought to be celebrated a little too. And since it is no secret he adores chameleons. The chameleon? Emmeline looks skeptically at the drink, then bursts out laughing. I guess that makes sense with the little chameleon on the glass, but wouldn't that make the drink more Claude's special cocktail? Haven't hit the mic in a while. It was pretty bad. I've been sitting with my hand on my other armrest for some reason, because I don't have anything to do with my hands anymore. I'm just hitting the space bar and fucking around. So, it's anyone's guess as to what I'll get up to. Anyway, I see no problem with celebrating him. We can play a little trick on him during the unveiling. He'll never see it coming. Emmeline puts a hand on her cheek and grins. I'm sure he'll love it, Wagon. And oh, what sort of mixture do you want for the drink? I am not picky. Feel free to choose what you will. Really? Are you sure? Emmeline looks at me uncertainly. Are you I'm gonna assume this is Rod, but I'm not gonna jump to conclusions because we know what happened last time. Are you still here trying drinks, Em? The familiar voice makes us both whirl in place. It is Rod, because I'm really good at assuming things. Rod stands behind us, lips quirked into a small smile. I step back without realizing. I'm still unused to Rod's changed height, especially with his quiet demeanor. It feels almost like a contradiction. He scowls at me. Is there something on my face? You cast a shadow. You're terrible. Emmeline just giggles, then she claps a hand on my shoulder. Anyway, thanks for the help, Wagon. I actually had a few more questions to ask you, but I need to figure out this drink before the end of the hour. Rod, you should help me. You want me to help you taste drinks? We can both be royal test drinkers. I don't think nobles test drinks for other nobles. The two of them continue their back and forth banter, and for a few moments I watch with amusement. I've tried my best to mend my relationship with Emmeline and Rod over the years, and even though the bonds we share are not as strong as the bond they have with each other, our relationship is no longer strained. I think I'll leave you two to your taste testing. I have to meet Claude soon. He insisted on meeting me in my room before he has to run off to a lesson with his history tutor. He's picked up Angel history fairly quickly, especially since he just started recently. Which is weird considering he was missing and moved to Angel for a very, very long time. He probably could have learned at least some bits and pieces. I feel like the longer... I don't miss Ron at all. Neither do I. You could color me as an incest hater. So I also don't miss Rod. He's also the most boring character. As the game progresses, they get more interesting. Like, if you do it in the order that the game wants you to play, they get progressively more interesting, except when it's Fritz and then it goes down super hard, basically explodes in the core of the earth, because of how bad it is, and then rockets way back up to the moon when it's Walt, who is super interesting and cool and attractive. Once he stops being 12. This game is certainly interesting. Anyway, he's picked up Angel history fairly quickly, especially since he just started recently, and since I convinced him to stop hiding from the tutor. Emmeline is staring at the chalice with the chameleon topper thoughtfully. I wonder what sort of gift he'll bring today. Hopefully it's not a choir, or some gigantic cake with enchanted candles. There's no way to know with Claude. The surprise is part of the gift. Well, do let us know what it is once you get through the wrapping paper, if it's small enough to fit in wrapping paper, that is. I nod my head with a smile. The three of us trade quick farewells before I walk out of the crowded dining hall and back in dining hall, by the way. And back into the corridor. I have barely managed a few steps into the corridor before someone collides with me. The impact pushes me down on the ground. I'm so sorry. The man holds his... Oh, shit! Oh, yeah, he was the crier. He cried. Okay, got it. We're locked in. The man holds out his hand to me. We're gonna assume that it's not llama, but it is. My humblest and most sincere apologies, Princess Wagon. Please allow me to help you to your feet. I glance up at the man and frown. I am about to respond to his apology when I pause, noticing his gentle features. It is impossible not to recognize him. This is the slow faded. The slow faded was crazy. Oh yes, we are back. We are so back. Lance? I stare at him in shock. The light of the sun is angled just right on his features, making everything on his face gently glow. My earlier agitation disappears completely when I behold his smile. It is nice to see you again too, Princess Wagon. And once again, I am so sorry. I continue to stare at him, eyes wide, his apology barely registering in my mind. You're not supposed to be here for another month. That I am not, yet here I stand. He continues to smile at me jovially. There is an explanation for this, I promise. He gestures again with his hand, a clear insistence that I take it. Let me check. Refuse his help. I gently push his hand away and move to stand on my own. I'm fine, thank you. I had better not give him more reason than necessary to shower me with attention. I stand and brush my dress off briskly. I notice emotion out of the corner of my eyes and look up to see Claude striding toward us. He moves to stand beside me, a tight smile on his face. How rude it is of my brother to knock a beautiful lady over. I'm afraid all I can do in this situation is offer a heartfelt apology. Lance smiles, a little sheepishly, before turning his full attention on Claude. Well, that was a little awkward, but... His smile widens into something somehow both shining and gentle. Nice to see you too, Karma. Llama. The few people that are in the hallway, including... I can't believe they both have dumb nicknames, man. This is the worst. Including a few of the servants, pause briefly to glance at Lance as they pass. They smile when Lance makes eye contact with them. Last time Lance was here, he had a similar effect. He has a way of sparkling. Claude does it too, but on purpose. I did not think it was possible before, but I'm fairly certain Lance sparkles without needing to. What does that mean? Lance is... Do the characters canonically see the sparkles that they do? And that's not just like a little cutesy thing for us, the audience. The characters actually see that? That's so funny. I love lore. We're building it. We're building up on it. We're learning. Lance's smile fades slowly. I apologize for not writing in advance of my arrival. Father insisted I come early to surprise you. By showing up an entire month early? Yes, exactly. Last time I visited with Mother, we ruined everyone's schedules. Father figured if no one had any time to plan, I wouldn't be imposing as much. Which doesn't make any sense. It'd be the opposite, man. Why did your dad tell you that? Your dad's a dick, man. That is not very sound logic. Okay, glad it's not just me. I've never met Claude and Lance's father, but sometimes I cannot help but wonder what sort of king he is outside of the stories I hear. No, it is not sound logic, but it is something father would do. He likes surprising people. That's a really hard voice, by the way. The two men look at each other for a few moments. Lance looks noticeably uncomfortable with Claude scowling at him. The silence is stifling. I clear my throat. It is good to have you here, Lance. Does my family know that you are here? Oh, I already met with King Gennaro and Queen Ophelia earlier. I was on my way to visit Princess Emmeline and Prince Rod when I bumped into you in the hallway. Oh, and I happened upon Commander Garland earlier. I was watching one of his practices. Perhaps Garland met Lance earlier. Oh, he's crying out for more, yeah. I think the other character that we introduce in this version of the game is Valley Girl. So if I forget, please feel free to remind me. Or if you have a better voice than Valley Girl, I am willing to hear you out on that. Perhaps Garland met Lance earlier, and that is why he mentioned his name. Did he want to keep all of this a surprise? Lance smiles again. I heard that your birthday is in 6 days, Wagon. It will be an honor to attend the celebration. And it will be an honor to have you there, Lance. Oh, he's pissed. Claude still looks agitated by the conversation. Claude is always unreasonable. Valley Girl's peak voice. So true. And we haven't used Valley Girl for anyone else, so this is great. Claude is always unreasonable. He tells me that it is sibling rivalry, but sometimes I feel it runs deeper than that. I had hoped to catch up with you two, but I don't want to interrupt any of your plans. Claude sighs beside me. He seems to deflate a little, but some of the earlier tension I sense in him fades away. He smiles at Lance. The sight puts me at ease. As much as I want to catch up now, I have an engagement. 2, in fact. I steal a quick glance at Claude's hands and realize belatedly that he holds a colorful box in them. Is that the birthday gift he mentioned earlier? It is surprisingly small. I figured as much. This is what happens when one shows up unexpectedly on another person's doorstep. In that case, I'll make myself scarce for the hour. If you have the time to spare after your engagement, I'll be in the dining hall. I hear some sort of celebration planning is taking place. Okay, thank God he's gone. He gives a slight but elegant bow before walking past us, still smiling his gentle smile. It begins. Oh, shit. Hi! Hi, Cat. Happy $11 game day. And also, hold on, let me check. Monkey Around Day. Happy Monkey Around Day. I didn't fill up my water bottle before. Here's to the $11. Thanks, Cat. How are you? What's going on? Severe mistake not filling up my water bottle, though. Like, I have to kill myself. 23 minutes, and I can refill it. Anyway. What? The llama take over. Aren't you being a bit dramatic? He is your brother. Okay, shit, you can see this. Okay, I don't want you to catch the cat. I don't want you to look at the thing. Biggest thing I did today was have breakfast today. Okay, but breakfast is so good. So I hope it was a good breakfast for you. Oh yeah, Grace got a new car. Happy car. I kind of forgot. She took us out for ice cream today, and I didn't have to drive. It was really cool. The flavor I got, because everyone asked, it was called Play-Doh. Which sounds fucking disgusting. But was actually pretty good. Me too, I thought it was someone else in the driveway. And you hate other people in the driveway. Anyway, I'm dramatic because he's my brother and I know him. Claude sighs. I'll have to rearrange the schedule now to make sure he doesn't accidentally change any of my plans. Plans? Claude shakes his head slightly before smiling at me mischievously. Up and start. Ew! You were so fucking funny for that. Plans? Whatever are you talking about, Wagon? I nudge his shoulder, but he just laughs at me before setting his arm on my shoulders with a smile. Shall we? The two of us make our way down the corridor into my room. Thankfully, there are no further incidents in the hallway. By the time we get back to my room, Claude is noticeably more at ease. I take a seat on my bed, and as he shuts the door behind him. The day's climax is at last upon us. There's no choir involved in this, is there? Last year I sat down on my bed and a choir started singing a birthday song in the garden outside my window. No choir. This is much better. He sits down beside me and hands me a box. His eyes are glimmering with excitement. Claude's excitement is just as much part of the gift as the gift itself. He always looks so happy when he gives me something, and his happiness is contagious. Are you going to continue to make me wait in suspense? I thought this was my gift and not yours. Don't be like that, love. You know how much I enjoy seeing your eyes light up when you open a gift. I glance down at the little box that is now in my lap. It is wrapped in vibrant red, gold, and green. A small card on the top reads, "To my betrothed on her special birthday week, you are my compass, even in darkest times." I flush a little as I pluck the card off and set it aside. Betrothed. It is still so strange to think that we are engaged. Everything feels as it always has. It feels natural. Ugh. I eye the ring on my finger as I carefully unfold the wrapping paper. You could just tear the paper, you know. I enjoy making you wait in suspense. You do like to tease me, don't you? I laugh as I pull the wrapping paper and then slowly open up the box that Claude has brought for me. Oh, I forgot. Okay, that's really cute. What the fuck? Okay, Cinderella Phenomenon merch drop when? I'm waiting, man. Should have spent my $11 on the merch drop. I take the first plush out of the box and stare at it. It is fuzzy and almost completely black with red eyes, and yet somehow it is cute. And the other plush, I take it out and gaze at its dress and face. It has a lily necklace hanging from its neck and glass slippers on its small feet. I can immediately tell from the hair who it is meant to be. It's me and... I stare at the black beast plush, startled. You? Claude laughs, looking pleased with himself. But why would he make himself out to be a beast? Flashback to the time she wrapped a plate of cookies. Oh my god. Shifa, I don't remember that at all. But she's so stupid. This game is so goofy in all of like the minute details it shares for like no reason. Like wrapping a plate of cookies. Girl, why did you do that? It's been so long since we've played the first game. Wow. We are so back. You look confused, but certainly you must realize that this gift is based off the Beauty and the Beast. But you... Look, I even gave myself a crown! I furrow my eyebrows at him. You really don't think that you're... a beast? Claude's lips curve into a gentle smile. In the past, yes. But for now, the beast is just a plush. Don't you think it's cute? I glance down at the beast plush again, my fingers on the crown. The past, I lean against Claude's shoulder and hold up the two plush toys so that I can see them side by side. They are adorable, Claude. I love them. I wrap my arms around his waist and settle my head on his shoulder. Thank you. Better than a choir or a large cake? I debated combining the two this year, you know. I suppose if I had to choose. No, wait. Don't tell me. You just might break my heart. Wow! I grin at him and he wraps an arm around my waist and plants a kiss on the top of my head. I love that everything you get from me, no matter how small or how grand. I eye the rose locket hanging around his neck and smile. Claude notices me looking and puts a hand to it. More than 2 years ago, he had a rose tattoo by his heart. Now he calls the rose locket his heart. That is the stupidest shit I've ever heard in my life. I would get you the whole world if I could, but for now I hope you don't mind settling for these smaller gifts. I'd never be able to fit the whole world in my room, but I can fit you in here at least. And that's probably the most important thing. No, girl, you say, I already own the world. And then he's gonna be like, what are you saying? And then you say, you are my world. That's the joke. She didn't do it right. 0. I can't say it. Emotionally, I can't handle saying it. We're moving on. Probably, wagon, I'm offended. I laugh and he plants down to he leans down to plant a kiss on my smile. You really won't let me skip out on my lessons today? I could think of much better things to do with this time. He raises an eyebrow at me, but I just slide away from him. A prince of Angel needs to know his kingdom, doesn't he? Claude stares at me after that, his expression growing surprisingly somber. For a few moments, I see a glint of melancholy in his eyes. Then he stands up abruptly and fixes a smile to his face. Of course. And then there's also my kid brother to attend to. I will go speak with Lance, so do not worry about him. I miss Karma. Me too. Miss Karma. I miss Miss Karma. My beautiful wife. My baby girl. my queen, who wore the ugliest fucking outfit I've ever seen in my life. I like to think, I like to think that even after he, can be a guy all the time, they still do makeup and girl things together, because what's the point if not? Once again, Claude's expression is sullen, but the look is only temporary. He leans down to take my hand, then places a soft kiss at its back. In that case, I will see you later, my love. He smiles at me one last time before heading out the door. I fall back on my bed, holding the two plushes to my chest. I hold up the beast plush and sigh. That uneasiness I felt just now was just my imagination, right? I love saying words that aren't there. The beast plush does not answer me. I set the Beauty and the Beast plush toys down beside each other on my bed. For a few moments, I look at them, thoughtful. Eventually, I move to exit the room and turn my thoughts to brighter things. Oh shit, chapter 2. Let's go. Let's go. The L. Did you see it? Yuck. I can't believe they didn't pull the second L out so it could breathe. Oh man, I'm disgusted. No matter what I do, I can never make a difference. He died because of me. It's all my fault. They have so much gold, and yet they won't spare a single coin. Is something interesting gonna happen during his arc? Is Rod really the most boring character and completely wildly irredeemable and not worth $11? But Karma might be? Karma might be worth $11? Anyway, did I read that? I'll read it again. They have so much gold and yet they won't spare a single coin. This is... If only I could be rid of him. All he does is take. Take. Rod is so boring! So not only is he incestuous and weird, he's also sucks. Like, for other reasons. But by comparison, he is better than Fritz. Fritz is the worst. The voice continues to pound inside my head like a trapped animal fighting its cage. I become aware that I am in a dream, a nightmare. The moment I realize that I begin to stir, I attempt to wake myself up but stop when I hear another voice at the edge of my consciousness. How could they miss me? It's not as if they haven't already replaced me. The voice is familiar, and for a few moments, it is the only echo I hear in my mind. Whose voice is this? I try to listen, but to no avail. The other voices soon press into my mind, making it impossible to hear anything else. I force myself awake. That was a dumbass nightmare. Wasn't even scary. My heart is beating erratically in my chest. My head is pounding. I feel faint, even though I've just woken up. I still feel the disappointment. I know! Oh! We were so... It was so good for like the first 6 hours. Remember Perfect? Yeah! The only one she doesn't die in is... Rod's route. So Rod's route is the most boring, but like the most amount of people live. Not a single soul dies in Rod's route. Does Parfait die in this one? I don't remember. But the characters dying at different, like, in different arcs, it makes no sense to me. I feel like the same characters should die consistently for, like, you know, and fucking the fact that they killed, Parfait I'm willing to let slide. Why, you ask? I don't know. I don't like her as much. Delora? Insta jail. Bring her back right now. You can't be killing her. She's the best character. You need to go to jail. Like, that's crazy. Anyway, my head is pounding. I feel faint even though I have just woken up. I glance slowly around my room with sleepy eyes searching for Claude, but he is not here. Ever since we became engaged, he has been sleeping in this room with me. The king was against it at first. Even I could not help but be surprised by Claude's bold proposal. Yet according to him, such a thing is tradition in Brigantia. Still, it took my father many months to agree. In the end, he only relented with a month remaining to the wedding, saying he found it more acceptable. It's pleasant when I wake up and actually find him sleeping next to me, but I notice a small note on the bedside table and sigh. He has another morning meeting with my father, it seems. I put a hand to my forehead and close my eyes. And that nightmare. Ever since I became the Tenebrar bearer 2 years ago, I have been having these nightmares. Parfait, who we have just rediscovered is alive, tells me that they become milder the more I learn to put them to the back of my mind. The voices usually are not so terrible they drag me under like that. The last time the voices were this loud, it was because I was surrounded by negativity from somewhere close by. I sit up in bed and turn to look at the beast plush that lies just beside my pillow. That negativity isn't coming from Claude, right? Depression arc! I am uncertain whether or not is the truth or my imagination, but even though he is, for the most part, his usual self, there are moments when he feels different. There are moments where his smile wavers and a tinge of melancholy comes into his eyes. The first time I saw it was when he gave me the beast plush. That was 6 days ago. Okay, time skip. I've asked Claude multiple times if something is amiss, and he always waves me off with a smile. I glance again around the room that we now share. Most of it has not changed, though Claude has added some things, namely a piano that sits in one corner. Not that we can see it. He insisted on putting it into the room when he first moved in, and I had no qualms about it. Not when I know the playing calms him down. Okay, random karma lore. Besides, I do not mind watching him play. Sometimes when I am in the mood, I play with him. Perhaps I should suggest playing together sometime later today. I stifle a sigh as I slide off my bed and move to get dressed. A maid arrives to call me to breakfast, and then leads me to the dining hall. Breakfast is livelier today on account of Lance, who sits beside Emmeline listening to everything the royal family is discussing with a broad smile on his face. Please don't make me say do his voice. Thank you, and please, very much. Even though the king and Claude are both absent from the table, Lance talks enough for the both of them. Exactly the opposite of what I wanted to hear. In fact, ever since he arrived, Lance has somehow managed to put himself in the spotlight for every family meal. He does not start conversation on his own, but he is always quick to respond, and usually with a smile. He seems inherently interested in everything he hears. It is amazing to me that he manages to be so animated and attentive so early in the morning. My thoughts are occupied during breakfast, hovering somewhere between Claude's duties and my own. I listen while I eat, sometimes nodding along with the conversation. I have almost cleared my plate when Lance speaks directly to me, jolting me out of my reverie. Have you ever spoken with the witches in Brigantia, princess? I look up and blink, trying to piece together what he might have been saying. The witches from Brigantia? Claude tells me that you interact with many witches because of your position as Tenebara bearer. He puts a hand on his chest and gives a slight bow. Even sitting down in front of a half-finished breakfast plate, he manages to make the motion look somehow dignified. I must stress that, as always, it is an honor to be in your presence. I cannot help but smile at him. Most of the time, being the Tenebara bearer is more an ordeal than a blessing, but I have learned to appreciate the responsibility. Please, Lance, there is no need for that. I shake my head. And no, I do not usually speak with Brigantian witches. I usually have no reason to, unless there is some kind of upset. I lose my mind every time he comes on screen. Lance, it's a little unfortunate for me, but I'm glad you guys are having a good time. From what I have heard, though, the witches in Brigantia are content. There are still incidents involving witches in Angel every so often, but thankfully those incidents have been on the decline in the last year. It does seem that way, though I cannot say with absolute certainty because I do not have many witch acquaintances. Lance's eyes brighten. He seems to be lost in memory for a few moments, but then he speaks up. Many of the witches I do know have visited the castle to perform extraordinary magical feats. Mother has a few witch acquaintances that help her decorate her midnight parties with enchanted objects. God, that was a long one. Midnight parties? Emmeline looks at Lance in wonder. Mother's a bit of a night owl, so she throws many parties at night. She refers to her weekly evening celebrations as midnight balls. That sounds lovely. They are quite lovely, if not a bit overwhelming at times. But I suppose that's to be expected. Brigantia is known for its animated nightlife. It's sleepy when the sun is still up and lively when the moon rises. Oh God, he's still talking. The balls are particularly special nighttime celebration with renowned performers. Oh my god, 1 year when Claude and I were still young, my mother invited a witch whose specialty was magical gardening. They are hitting me with very large sentences. I will land someone actually. I'm so excited to see what wonders you have. Oh my god, so true. That's him for real. Crying. Oh god. Magical gardening? Can't wait for him to respond. Which conjured an entire field of colored roses. That's... Lance laughs. Suffice it to say, he left quite the impression. I think we learned to appreciate roses a lot more after we were gifted an entire field of them. I wonder if such showcases are part of the reason Claude loves roses so much. I think of the rose locket and smile. What sort of magic do you specialize in, Princess Wagon? I look up at Lance, momentarily perplexed. Delora taught me shields and ice first, so I am Are you fucking for real right now? She taught you ice, bro? I mean, I remember the shields in the first game, but ice is fucking stupid. Anyway, so I'm probably most comfortable with those spells, but I do not consider them my specialty. Wagon is very good with ice. She made a sculpture of Claude once for his birthday. Ugh. Emmeline. Lance stares at me with clear impress. You made a sculpture out of ice? That's amazing! Claude thought it was amazing too, even if I could never get his features right. He teased me about it for a long time afterward, but he was definitely distressed when I set the sculpture outside in the sun so that it would melt. There's a broom here that she animated to clean all on its own too. No, Mr. Broom is entirely Delora and Parfai's fault. I did not want to bring it here at first, but in the end— Yes, Mr. Broom is back, baby! But in the end agreed to it because the thing wouldn't leave me alone when I visited the tavern. Oh, it's her pet. Okay, that's kind of cute. I like in all the Disney movies where all the princesses get a pet. Mr. Broom is her pet. I brought it here and tweaked the enchantment on it so that it could sweep on its own. Now at least, Delora cannot renew the enchantment on it just to tease me. Rod looks up from his plate, eyebrows raised. Third guy. A little more than a year ago, it created a light show in the dining hall. There was electricity bouncing everywhere. That lightning spell was a difficult beginner spell. Lance laughs, looking delighted. So you are a master of all trades. I wouldn't expect anything less from a Tenebra bearer. It is a shame that you can't come to Brigantia for long enough time to meet the witches there. They speak of you fondly, even if they cannot see you often. They do? Most certainly. That is surprising. But perhaps I am making more progress with everyone than I first thought. I think about what Lance said about my inability to visit Brigantia. Unfortunately, I cannot leave Angel for extended periods of time when I am the Tenebra bearer. I have to remain in the kingdom because I am tied to the crystal, but I may be a goof. Are we doing rods? Or we're doing clots. We have, since we finished Rod's route in one sitting, we're not gonna go back and do him again. But since we stopped in the middle of Claude's route, we are starting Claude's route over completely. So that's what we're doing right now. We're on chapter 2. Ugh. My thoughts shift to Claude. He has gone to visit Brigantia a number of times without me, but I know that he is sad that I cannot join him. Because of my own position as Tenebra, can't we just bring the rock with us? Also, that shit's stupid. That we can't go anywhere, but whatever. I could never go to Brigantia and become a princess there. That is the reason my wedding engagement with Claude will make him a crown prince of Angel, which doesn't make any sense if you really think about it, but that's okay. I'm down for gender role bending. I don't really give a shit, but like overall, that's really stupid and a cop-out. It is also the reason Claude was forced to step down as the crown prince of Brigantia and hand the title over to his brother. Lance breaks through my thoughts with a question. Might I be so bold as to ask you for a demonstration? I would be happy to tell you more about Claude if you would show me some of your magic. Ophelia, who had been quietly listening in on our conversation, suddenly stands from the table with a smile. I'll leave you to it then, but please, no electric mishaps. I am more than capable of controlling my electricity. Ophelia just smiles at my embarrassment before excusing herself from the table. A magical demonstration, I am still considering what spell to cast when the doors to the dining hall swing open and Claude walks inside. He looks somehow downtrodden, his expression broody. Karma, you came just in time for the princess's magic demonstration. Claude turns and looks at me quizzically, his expression softening. Then I have arrived at the perfect time. He keeps walking until he is standing behind my chair. I am relieved to see his initial stress completely disappeared from his face. I turn my gaze to the rest of the table. Everyone is looking at me expectantly. A spell. Should I do something that I am comfortable with or something new? Make a rose. An ice spell would be safe, but perhaps I can cheer Claude up with something new. I have made a lot of things before, but never a rose. Still, it cannot be that difficult, surely. I hold out my hands, cupping them in front of me to create a small platform. I squint down at the palm of my hands, concentrating the magic in my body into my fingers. The magic beneath my skin is a subtle thing, but 2 years of practice has made it easier to grip and shape it into something. I close my eyes briefly, imagining the shape of a rose. The first thing that comes to mind is the rose locket on Claude's chest. I attempt to draw the shape of it out into reality. If I can shape ice, this is nothing. Oh, that's... I open my eyes and stare down at the object in my hands. Sweet! We did it. It is indeed rose, but much to my disgruntlement, it is flat. Extremely flat. Its shape resembles the flat metallic shape of Claude's rose locket, which doesn't look flat in the drawings. Fuck you. Don't think I didn't notice. I did. You can't shade it and then tell me it's flat. Fuck you. Only it is awkwardly balanced on a vibrant... I think they just couldn't... I was gonna say they couldn't draw a rose. They can. There's one in the shot right now. I was just being mean. It is awkwardly balanced on a vibrant green stem. A single wiry leaf juts out from the stem. I sigh as the rose caves in on itself. This is not impressive at all. I will try again. But... Wagon, wait. Claude takes a step forward, then reaches past my shoulders. He touches his fingers to the petal of the delicate rose. Much to my relief, they do not fall. I think it is beautiful. I agree with Emmeline. Claude smiles and plucks the rose from my fingers. He holds the strange, flattened up flower to his nose and smells it. It also smells far better than a normal rose. I'm inclined to agree. And a rose made out of magic is more special than a rose plucked from a rose bush. It's lovely, Wagon. But it's so flat, it looks like it might fall off the stem at any moment. I shake my head slightly and attempt to snatch it away from Claude. He only holds it out of my reach with a mischievous smile. Fine, you can keep it then. Y'all can be honest, I know, it was like, you guys are being too nice. Claude smiles. He holds the rose carefully in one hand, then leans down to kiss my cheek. I most certainly will. He keeps the rose clutched gently between his fingers as Lance turns to me. That was amazing, Wagon. Your magic is beautiful. And fierce. Sometimes too much so. I scoff. You make it sound like my magic is aggressive when it is not. I barely have any reason to use magic in the first place. Most of the time I only use it for convenience. And then I sometimes use it to make gifts for Claude, just to upstage him. Oh, okay, they're fucking leaving. Lance thanks me again for the demonstration before excusing himself. He and Emmeline rush off for extremely important plans. Rod heaves out a great sigh before eventually falling after them. I hope that they are not trying too hard for my birthday celebration tomorrow. I remain with Claude while he eats a late breakfast and then head out with him when he is done. Okay? Shh. I have to run an ad really quick, so I'm gonna do that. Everybody sit tight for the ad. I also am going to get water because I'm dying. I'm fucking dying. I will return shortly. Okay, I'm back now. With water. Thank God. I know that our time together will not last long. Claude has to take off to another lesson, and I have a meeting with my father. It is another discussion about the implementation of new laws in Angel. Before the two of us go on, thank you, it is good to be back, our own separate ways, Claude turns to me with the rose still in his fingers. I am going to return this to the room first. The room, as opposed to our room, which makes it weird. I'm sure that when you see it later tonight, it will have caved in on itself. You have no faith in me, Wagon. It is more that I have no faith in the rose. Hello? Thank you. Claude flicks my forehead. You fucking dick. Bringing me back into reality. Next time you do that, I'll freeze your pretty eyelashes. Claude bats his eyelashes at me and chuckles. I wouldn't mind. It would be a nice change in aesthetic, I think. He plants a quick kiss on my forehead. Until we next reconvene, love. After a quick exchange of farewells, we separate and go our own ways. The day turns out to be busier than I had anticipated. Except for a short hour break in between, I barely see Claude. He manages to give me his gift for the day in between our responsibilities. It is a feat for the eyes, a simple yet elegant blue dress decorated with lilies. Claude is good at selecting dresses, given his prior experiences with them. Girl moment! The king always seems surprised when I tell him that Claude helps me compile my wardrobe. I know I will have to wear this dress sometime soon as well. This thought hangs in my mind as I continue about my business. I hope we get to see it. I'm a dress fan. I'm an outfit enjoyer. So please let me see. Please, 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 please. Pretty please. You let us see the plushies. I want to see the dress. Please. The rest of the day passes in a blur. That was stupid. Glad we read all that. Even the evening moves quickly. I have enough time to sit down to dinner with my family before I have a meeting with a witch from town. By the time I am finally able to head back to my room, it is 9:10. My body feels incredibly heavy, and all I want to do is crash onto my bed. I have just turned the bend in the corner when I hear soft music coming through the halls. I stop to listen. Claude must be playing the piano. Strange, he does not usually play if I am not there to play with or watch him. I walk the rest of the way to my bedroom, then push the door quietly so as not to disturb Claude. Why are we at a fucking angle? We're like... I feel like I'm gonna fall out of the, frame. The music out from the room like a gentle breeze. The minute I step inside, I see Claude at the piano, fingers gliding across the keys to create beautiful sounds emanating from the instrument. This is also brand new fucking lore that they just shoehorned in for the sake of having something for him to do in the second game, I guess, because I cannot for the fucking life of me recall him ever being yes, I play the piano. So you're just fucking lying to me. You can't just give him new lore. Fuck you. I noticed that shit, okay? I pick that shit up. And you gotta put it down. I hate retcons. You know how badly they piss me off? Pretty badly. Unless they're cool. Okay? And this is mid. It's not even that interesting. It's like, oh, he can play piano. Fuck you. No, he can't. Put that away. He is so immersed in his music that he does not notice when I step inside and shut the door behind me. He looks solemn, yet at peace, his eyebrows drawn in concentration as he focuses on the keys. Even as I watch, the rigidness of his expression begins to crumble away into a gentle smile. Okay, play Chopsticks, or whatever the fuck that song is. This song, it is beautiful. Will I break his concentration if I move to sit beside him? Sit down next to him. Okay. It will be fine. Claude knows how to focus. I make my way over to where... The fucking faded, dude. Let's go. I make my way over to where he is sitting at the piano and quietly slide onto the bench beside him. The song does not stop. Even when Claude inclines his head toward me slightly, the gentle smile never falters. In fact, his eyebrows seem to gleam. Lamau, sorry I made that shit up. His eyes seem to gleam even more when he notices I sit beside him. Well, well, this is a most pleasant surprise. I was wondering when you'd be back. I set one of my hands down on his knee and I leaned my head onto his shoulder. It has been a long day. I'm sorry I couldn't lighten your workload, darling. You deserved a more lax day today. You deserve to be spoiled. Claire de Lune, or whatever, would be so fucking funny if it had started playing. His playing at the piano ceases as he puts his hand on top of mine. Claude, you spoil me every day. Sometimes too much. It is fine. I furrow my eyebrows slightly, realizing that my presence has probably put a damper on his playing. I interrupted your playing, didn't I? I'm sorry. Why are you apologizing, darling? You know what I always say. Claude smiles at me mischievously. I always notice the most pertinent things, and you are far more important than any piano piece. He laces his fingers through mine before leaning forward to press a gentle kiss to my lips. The feeling of his lips on mine causes my earlier stress to melt away completely. Everything around us fades to a gentle blur when I kiss him back. For some time, it feels like the world has stopped around us, and then there is just the two of us. At times like I don't know if I read that right. It didn't sound correct, but we'll move on anyway. At times like this, it feels like we have all the time in the world for each other. I am the first to pull away. I poke Claude in the chest and smile as I slide off the bench. What song were you playing? I wonder. Is it really necessary to keep it a secret? This song wasn't meant to be a surprise for tomorrow, was it? Claude just looks at me with his lips curved into a cat-like smile. I'm going to assume that is a yes. I move to sit down on the edge of my bed. If you're in here playing, I'm assuming you are done for the day? Claude lets out a sigh as he leans dramatically back on the piano, one arm draped across his surface, the other resting on his forehead. I'm afraid the night still yet has more excitement for me. Is it a meeting with father, or assignments from your history tutor? Claude scoffs at me. I'll have you know I'm on top of my assignments. I am just as excellent a pupil as I am an instructor. Your ego knows no bounds. It's confidence, love. Confidence. Claude sighs as he stands up and stretches. Afterwards, he turns to look at me. It's back. It'll be gone in like 5 minutes, but goddamn, it pisses me off. I'm afraid I have certain plans for tomorrow that I must check on. Plans for the birthday party? You really don't need to work so hard for me, Claude. Much to my surprise, Claude's smile slips, his expression fading into something more somber. I will always work hard for you, Wagon. I would do anything for you. That will never change, even if I cannot be... He stops suddenly, his lips sealed. You cannot be what? Claude looks at me, startled for a few moments. He steps back toward the door, then abruptly he begins to laugh. Never mind me. A tired man says a lot of peculiar things. When he smiles, the look is once again melancholy. It is a sad smile. Claude, are you okay? Yes, Wagon. I'm just a little tired. Don't look at me like that. I'll be fine come tomorrow morning. Claude. He stops in front of the door, hand on the knob. Yes, darling? You remember that we promised there would be no secrets between us, right? I never forget a promise I made with you, Wagon. He says the words with enough conviction that I cannot help but be relieved. This is just a passing stress, I promise. I nod my head, relenting. Now, I regret to say it, but I'll be a little late tonight, so you don't need to wait up for me. He blows me a kiss. I love you, Wagon. Good night. Good night, Claude. He steps out through the door and closes it behind him. Once he is gone, I fall back down on my bed, my eyelids fluttering closed. My body welcomes the softness of the sheets and the comfort of my pillows. I wonder if there's some way to figure out why Claude looks so sad. Someone that could tell me how to help him when he is like this. Like, perhaps a close person, someone who knows him really well, perhaps since birth. Yes, there's only, I believe, 5 chapters, possibly less. In fact, of the decisions we have options on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. There are 14 decisions in Claude's route. We have gone through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them already. So I could be lying. We might not even have 5 chapters of this, because there's typically 3 choices per chapter. But yes, the game is like half the length of the original. Which is another reason why I'm a little pissed off that it was $11. Because the fact that the first game was so much longer and mattered a whole lot more in the grand scheme, like arc-wise, like story-wise, character-wise, you get to know everyone a lot better, and you have a lot more time to spend with people. So yeah, this game being paid for, or you have to pay $11 is... But anyway, the question rolls around. Hey, I was reading that. The question rolls around in my mind for a while, but it is not long before the desire to sleep overwhelms my worry. Not long after I close my eyes, I find myself drifting away into slumber. Nightmare moment. Oh, just kidding. I lied. When I next wake, my bedroom is dark and quiet. The first thing I am aware of is my heart, which is beating painfully against my chest. Another nightmare. Just kidding, nightmare moment. I'm confused. I put a hand to my forehead as I glance around my room. I notice that Claude is lying beside me, undisturbed. The gentle rise and fall of his chest, along with his soft breathing, tells me that he is asleep. I find the clock in my room and stifle a sigh. It is just past midnight. I have no idea how long Claude has been asleep, and I do not want to wake him. Sometimes when the nightmares are terrible, I end up waking Claude to discuss them with him. Other times, when I'm sure he needs to rest, I do my best to forget the nightmares on my own. I could use some fresh air. I quietly slide out of the bed and make my way toward the door. I glance over my shoulder at Claude one last time before quietly stepping outside and shutting the door behind me. The palace corridors are quiet at night, save for the muted footsteps of the patrolling knights. At first, I am a loss for what to do with myself. I could sit in the garden, or I could walk through the hallways until the voices fade. My legs begin to move on their own. Every step sends me down the hallway and closer to a branching corridor. I am not entirely sure where I am heading, but I tell all of the knights I meet on my way that I am only wandering for some peace of mind. I have just moved into the conjoined corridor when I see a familiar face.
Princess?
Jurian stops in front of me, her eyebrows drawn together in a clearly anxious expression. Good evening, Jurian.
Good evening, Your Highness. Couldn't sleep?
It has been a restless night. Are you still working?
For a little while longer, yes. And what about you? Just taking a midnight stroll?
I've bumped into Jurian quite a few times on these aimless night strolls, and she always worries. There is no cause for concern.
You say that, Princess, but any royal's actions are a concern for us knights, and now I have to keep my eyes out for both you and the prince.
The prince? Rod is also up?
Oh no, Prince Lance of Brigantia. He was out here earlier murmuring to himself.
That is a little strange.
I saw him heading into the dining hall last. I sent a few knights over that way just in case.
Perhaps he left his room for a midnight snack. Claude used to be up at midnight all the time when he first came down here. Sorry, I love making shit up. It sounds like a typical Brigantian lifestyle.
Anyway, if you need anything from me, I'll be on patrol for a little while longer. Don't hesitate to call on me, Princess.
I will not. Thank you, Jurian. Jurian turns to walk away, but then pauses to glance over her shoulder.
Oh, and Princess? I hope we all get to practice together again soon.
Yes, I hope so too. It has been a long time since all four of us have been able to participate in mock battles. Jurian flashes me a small smile before she strides away from me to continue her patrol. Love her! Women's rights. She pegs Garland. What? Who said that? If Lance is up right now, perhaps I should go see him. Without another thought, I begin to make my way to the dining hall. Sure enough, the first thing I notice when I step into the hall is Lance, who is sitting at the head of the dining table, his hands clasped as if in prayer. He is murmuring something beneath his breath. Lance? Love them! So true. Lance glances up at me, bewildered. His shock almost makes me feel guilty. Did I interrupt something? No, not at all. He lets out a deep sigh, his shoulders sagging slightly. A weight seems to fall off them as he does so, and when he looks up, he once again exudes his usual cheer. Kind of. I was wandering around the palace when I noticed the dining hall was empty. I wanted to sit down for a few moments to practice a speech, but... He looks down at the table. The downcast expression takes me by surprise, as it is very uncharacteristic of the usually very charismatic Lance. Sometimes I get so caught up in memorizing that I forget about everything around me. I'm sorry. There is no need to apologize, but you are practicing a speech? For whom? It's fine. You do not need to speak about it if you do not want to. I'm about to head out again when Lance calls my name, making me stop. Have you ever given a direct speech to the people, princess? Before, I used to shun people. Thank you for reminding us. I was curious about how you were before. I disliked going anywhere near them. Since breaking my curse, however, I have learned to open up to the townsfolk. The king has me address them directly on our monthly rides out to town. Of course. I see. If you are asking me that question, I assume that is because you are practicing a speech for a big audience. Lance smiles a little half-heartedly. I was. The moment Claude became engaged to you, I became next in line for the Brigantian throne. Father has been waiting for me to give a speech officially announcing myself as Brigantia's crown prince. The moment Claude asked for my hand in marriage, he had to relinquish his position. Thank you, we know. Oh my god, what the fuck, you've told me that already. As the crown prince of Brigantia. It had never occurred to me that Lance would have to take over something he was unprepared for. And how is the speech going? He's back! He is. God, pray for me. Lance sighs. Terribly. I die a slow death in front of large crowds. Claude has always been better at speeches than I have. I prefer speaking to people one-on-one. Large crowds are terrifying. He has stage fright? No doubt you both have your own strengths. Talking to so many people at once requires practice. Right. Lance still looks disheartened. The look on his face is so similar to Claude's that I cannot help the small stab in my heart. Okay, just tell everyone one at a time. That is so funny. I'm a huge fan of that. Suggest he go to Claude. You said Claude is better at spotlights, right? Then he should be able to help you. The two of you are brothers. He knows you better than anyone else. Even though Claude gets jealous of Lance frequently, the two of them are still brothers. I know Claude loves him. And Claude's overwhelming confidence allows him to speak to crowds with ease. Most people find him very charismatic. Hasn't Claude been really busy lately? I mean, recently? I wouldn't want to take any of the free time he has with you. Lance. Lance has a forlorn look in his eyes. He stares past me at the door, his eyebrows furrowed. Llama. He flushes a crimson red that has me smiling despite himself. Myself? I don't know. Didn't read that hard, will not be going back. He and Claude are similar in the strangest ways. You may as well ask Claude. I wouldn't mind sitting in during your practices if time with me was ever a problem. Besides, I already get ample time with Claude, despite what he may say. Most of the time, he is just needlessly dramatic. Though I do have to agree that we have both been pressed for time this week. Hopefully things will settle down after tomorrow's celebration. I will try asking him then. Though... Say it more decisively. You will ask him. Lance... Okay, what are we, dominatrixing his ass? Hello? What's going on? Lance laughs a little sheepishly. Then he clears his throat and speaks in a voice filled with conviction. I promise that I will ask him. Good. Oh! Lance looks at me wide-eyed. What is it? It's past midnight, isn't it? I had almost forgotten. Forgotten? Oh shit. Karma's gonna be so pissed that he was the first one to wish us a happy birthday on our birthday. On our official birthday. At midnight on our birthday. Anyway. To wish you a happy birthday! The smile Lance gives me is so shiny it almost sparkles. A very blessed happy birthday to you, Wagon. May both your nights and your days be filled with endless cheer and good company. Thank you, Lance. If Claude knew Lance was the first to wish me a happy birthday, he would cry. The thought makes me smirk. My conversation with Lance is cut short after that, when at one point, instead of responding to him with words, I respond with an unintended yawn. I excuse myself first that night, relieved that my conversation with Lance has helped clear the nightmares from my mind. Okay. Some people are competitive about birthdays. I just a happy birthday would have been fine, Lance. Okay, yeah, his happy birthday was weird. It was a little lengthy, but he was trying to impress, and I get it. I was sure that Lance will be able to solve his problems with help. As for my problems, I pushed the thought of Claude's melancholy smile from my mind. For now, it is better not to think about it. Claude will want me to enjoy my birthday celebration without worrying about him. So for now, I will set aside these worries. I walk back to my room feeling a lot lighter than I had when I first left it. I just got distracted. I was like, time to look everywhere else. Oh shit, chapter 3. We are going so fast, man. We gotta slow down. Hello? The posters! I was gonna do a poster for every character and we're going so fucking quick, man. Ah, let's slow down. Help! Oh god. The hallway is lively in the late morning, but I barely pay attention to the servants as I make my way through it. Dude, it's so fast! What the fuck? Help! A few of the servants notice my hurried pace and stare after me, no doubt curious as to why I'm rushing down the halls. I ignore them. What reason could Parfait have me for summoning me so late? I was awoken this morning by a knock heralding a letter delivery. It was marked as urgent and had been sent by Parfait earlier today. Parfait prefaced, remembered how to read, prefaced it with an apology, then explained that she and Delora, my beautiful wife, had something that they needed to discuss with me. Apparently, it cannot wait. Everyone planned for a late breakfast today so I could sleep in, too. Claude was already gone when I woke, as I was expecting as much considering today is my birthday and he had been the one heading the plans for it. I have already told my family that I will be missing breakfast on account of Parfait's letter, but I have yet to see Claude. I turned the corner in a rush and only barely managed to stop myself from colliding with someone coming down the other side of the hall. Hi, Claude. Wagon! I step back from Claude as he stares at me, looking flustered, as if he too had been running. I heard that you were leaving the palace for some personal business? Parfait sent me an abrupt letter this morning saying she had something to discuss with me. They're getting married and ask us to officiate? Aw, I hope so. Women's rights, women's rights. Remember when they revealed that Delora has a daughter? I don't remember that either. Anyway, Claude looks clearly disgruntled by the news. On your birthday, I forgot his voice. I was like, on your birthday? On your birthday? Oh. He suddenly falls to his knees and clap. They what? They revealed that Delora had a daughter, who was murdered. Obviously. Do you not remember that? Yeah, Delora had a kid. That shit was crazy. And we won't talk about it again, I'm sure, because it doesn't fucking matter, but like, that shit was wild. He suddenly falls to his knees and clasps my hand in his. I am startled when he presses his lips to the back of it and smiles. No, you don't? Okay, so sorry for dropping that fucking bombshell on you then. And I don't even have any more context for you, because that is as much information as we receive about Delora. We just know that she has a daughter, and then they compare Wagon to her daughter, basically. Except they have more of like a big sister, little sister relationship, so it's very difficult to perceive them as mother-daughter. But that is what they are trying to imply. It was bad. It was bad writing. Happy to catch you up on that. A very happy birthday to you, my beautiful Wagon. My love, my sunshine, my beautiful betrothed. Ugh! The greeting is so familiar I cannot help but blush. Claude cocks an eyebrow at me as he stands. He leans forward and plucks a plant kiss is what I was gonna say. Plants a quick kiss on my lips. All right, now that I've done what was necessary. He looks at me, again disgruntled. They're really doing this on your birthday? He is so funny for that, by the way. Kind of a slay. Apparently so. Claude grunts a response before shrugging his shoulders. If that is the case... He takes a step toward me. Would you allow me to accompany you? I had something special planned for breakfast, but if you cannot be there, I would at least rather be by your side. I can leave early to make sure that things here are taken care of. Was he rushing to catch up to me for that reason? But if he tags along, won't he be even more pressed for time? Let me check. Allow him to tag along. He is the one that insists on tagging along, and I always appreciate Claude's company. Perfect. I will meet you at the palace gates in a few minutes then. I just need to tell everyone that I plan on being out for a short time. He ducks and plants a kiss on my cheek before rushing off, leaving me to once again walk down the corridors on my own. I do not have to wait long for Claude to appear at the gates. Sorry to keep you waiting, wagon. He glances around the clearing. No carriage? I asked, but they have yet to prepare one. Perhaps we should just walk to the march-in. I stifle a sigh. Relax, darling. Parfait and Delora have already waited this long. I'm sure they can afford you some time to breathe in the fresh air. He holds out his arm to me with a flourish, a smile on his face. Shall we? I loop my arm through his with a resigned smile. We shall. Oh, Walkable Utopia Angel? I think so. All of my favorite games contain walkable utopias. And Cinderella Phenomenon Evermore is no different. Except Evermore is not my favorite. The original Cinderella Phenomenon is. I am a Evermore hater. Anyway, I'm just kidding. I'm just tentative about the game after how shitty Rod's arc was. The town is lively today, but still not crowded as it is in the afternoon. I really do feel bad that everyone went out of the way to eat breakfast so late on my account. I told them it was for some important meeting with Parfait, but still. What could be so urgent she had to call me out here now? The walk through town is mostly uneventful. I am relieved that no one goes out of their way to speak a birthday greeting to me. When Emmeline mentioned Claude wanting the townsfolk to celebrate with me, I was half worried that they would rush me when I came out of the palace. Yet the town is as it always is, which is a great relief. I greet people respectfully when they call out to me, but otherwise keep to myself. We are close to the march-in when I stop, hearing a conversation that piques my curiosity. I do wonder whatever happened to her. She was just here one day and then gone the next. Beautiful, mysterious women tend to do that, I suppose. Miss Karma mentioned. She was mysterious, wasn't she? It's been years since she was seen. Maybe she really was just a fairy passing by. Or perhaps a witch? Her beauty was mesmerizing enough that she seemed more than just a human. She had a rather mysterious name too, didn't she? Miss Karma. Miss Karma. I cannot believe people are still talking about his disguise from 2 years ago. I cannot help but glimpse at Claude, who is grinning at me mischievously. Perhaps one day the enigmatic Miss Karma will appear in town again. I fucking hope so! I hope so! Is she a fairy or a witch? None may ever know. It is still indisputable, however, that she is the second most beautiful lady in the realm. Second most beautiful? It is not like you to be so humble. Claude looks at me pointedly. Well, she certainly isn't as lady as another fair maiden that I know. Claude's only response is a wink. I continue to walk, my eyes now on the march-in. I wonder how the townsfolk would feel if they realized that Miss Karma somehow became the Crown Prince of Angel. Cheated feels like it would be putting it mildly. When I finally arrive at the march-in door, I stop, relishing the nostalgia that comes over me. I do most of my magic practices at the palace and forest now, which means that I barely have reason to come to the march-in. 2 years ago, this place was lively, always crowded with patrons who were seeking to break their curses. Ever since I became the Tenebrorum bearer and dispelled those curses on my own, the place has become significantly less busy. Now it is just a normal tavern, though I hear many of the previously cursed still come here. I put my hand to the door and pause. It feels as if the march-in is holding its breath. I should make this quick. It is almost noon, and I cannot miss lunch as well. I turn the doorknob and step inside. I am expecting quiet serenity, but the moment I step foot through the front door, there is a loud outburst of sound from every direction of the room. Happy birthday, Princess Wagon! Yay! Oh, birthday! The words are the only primary greeting. After them comes a shower of petals that fall from the ceiling. I realize that they fall to my feet, as they fall to my feet, that they are white. Lily. Petals? I stare at the sight before me with wide eyes. The margin is mostly unchanged, except for a few flourishes here and there. Lilies line some of the shelves, and I can see through the doorway that the tables in the tavern area are decorated. Finally, I notice the group of people gathered by the door. Love her! Her voice was always so hard for me. Yeah, aw, birthday! That's so cute. Hers was really hard. It was never really the same. I live for moments like this, where I can see our ever so stoic princess stunned into silence. One would hope that she would find a surprise party surprising. Hi, Delora! Mister! I came here for urgent business. The words leave my mouth before I can even think them. My cheeks are warm and my head is spinning. I cross my arms, my face still flushed with embarrassment. I turn to glance behind me and see Claude looking at me. He is smiling smugly, as if in triumph. You knew about this all along. Hooray! She's alive against all odds. Of course, I did help plan it after all. So what he said at the palace was a well-crafted lie? You forget that I am very good at keeping secrets. I step into the room, the surprise finally sinking in. I look around and see familiar faces I haven't seen in a while. Even more surprising, my family and Lance are among them. I saw them all before I left the palace. How did they get here? When I asked for explanations, I am told that the royal family was transported to the margin by Waltz, who used a teleportation spell. Everyone else had been gathered in the margin before that, making arrangements and setting up the impressive array of food I can see in the tavern area. Although the venue is smaller, it is more comfortable. This is so much nicer than a grand party at the palace. No formalities are required. I much prefer the nostalgia of the margin to the stiff royals. I am led, as the guest of honor, into the tavern area. There is sure enough a banquet set out on all the tables. Some of my favorite— I wish I could see the fucking characters that are supposed to be here, but whatever, it's fine. Some of my favorite foods are on the menu, and it is impossible to miss the drinking fountain. Is that a drinking fountain filled with a special birthday juice, princess? Hi, Anise, hi! There are fancy goblets laid out just beside the fountain, already filled with the concoction. The goblets on their own are not telling, but I recognize the chameleon topper, so this is the juice that Emmeline was tasting in the dining hall. Emmeline moves to stand in front of the drinking fountain, a bright smile on her face. I notice Lance standing with her. More likely than not, he has been assisting her with this since she arrived. Emmeline gestures to the goblets and the drinking fountain behind them. I present to you Wagon's special drink, the chameleon. There is a round of applause, followed by very confused muttering. Dolores snorts. And here I thought this was a celebration for the princess. Emmeline! Wagon insisted we call it that. Claude looks at me mournfully. Did you really expect me to call it anything else with such a topper on it? But Wagon, I have no problems with the name. It was your idea after all. I'm in hell. I'm amazed. I didn't even know you could blush, Carla. It is a trick of the lighting, nothing more. Everyone scatters in different directions at this point. Some make their way immediately to the food tables, while others begin to engage in conversation. It is a small get-together, but the people here are all comfortable enough with each other that it is easy for them to converse. Somehow, even despite the fact that the royal family should look out of place, they do not. Maybe it is the fact that they have already met everyone at the tavern before at the palace. Even Lance seems at ease. I am just about to make my way over to the large food display when a familiar voice stops me in my tracks. Oh my god! His fucking glasses was so goddamn fucking funny. I have to kill myself. It's been too long, princess! I missed seeing your radiant scowl. Every time I think he's changed, this happens. Chevalier laughs when I frown at him. And there it is! I'd much rather see you smile, though. It is your birthday, after all! 2 years ago, when I lifted Chevalier's curse, he remembered that he was a doctor. Which, no, he fucking didn't. Caught you, bitch! He remembers that anyway. Oh wait, never mind, just kidding. Not in this arc. Excuse the shit out of me. That was my bad. I jumped the gun. He remembers on his own in Fritz's arc and Waltz's arc. My bad. My bad. Got a little confident. He remembered that he was a doctor. He became more serious after that and went back to his work with a commitment that surprised everyone. I hear that because his clinic is close, he visits the Marchant often. How have you been?
I've been well, Princess. I have to thank you for your recommendation a month ago.
My recommendation?
You recommended my clinic to a renowned nobleman, Lord Decimond, was it? One recommendation led to another, and now I have an influx of patients.
I found out not long ago that Chevalier Tomato Rumple. Wait, what the fuck? Huh? What? The tomato is killing me. I'm so confused that you took me. I found out not long ago that Chevalier frequently refused gold from people out of his own selfishness because I could. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. If I'm playing the second game, there is a good shot that I already know all the lore from the first game. You can go ahead and cut it. You can go ahead and just fucking get rid of everything, okay? Don't look at anything. I had a couple of notifications I wanted to get. Oh, tomato! Got it. Throwing it. Okay, sorry. What I would ever say. Tomato. Okay, sorry I got confused because there's only one tomato and typically 3 tomatoes is customary for it to be an insult. So that was my bad. I frequently refused gold from people out of his own selfishness because I could not convince him to take the gold. I recommended a nobleman to his clinic instead. Classic clicked the back button moment. I've been pressing the space bar, so haven't done that much. But anyway, now he has no reason to refuse payment. It is my pleasure, but please make sure to keep some of the gold for yourself. I hope you won't put Wagon's efforts to waste with your selflessness again. Claude suddenly stands beside me with a scowl on his face. Yes, hate each other.
A pleasure to see you too, Your Highness.
What did you think I said? Wait, I didn't understand what you said at all. I didn't think you were saying anything, really. It was 2 unrelated words in my brain when I read that chat. Is all I thought you said. I was just trying to understand what you meant. I didn't think anything. I just didn't understand. Both men frown at each other. For some reason, they are still curt with each other. But do they really need to act like children? Oh, tomato. You boo. Yeah. We are on the same page now. We're all good. Wagon! Lance suddenly appears at Chevalier's other side with a bright smile. I came to ask. Oh. He looks at Chevalier, who is staring between him and Claude with wide eyes. Got it.
There's 2 of you?
Lance laughs. I would be Claude's brother, yes. I am Prince Lance of Brigantia. It is an honor to meet you.
An honor?
I don't think we're on the same page, but I feel like we are, so that's at least one of us thinks we're on the same page. We'll move on swiftly. Hi, Lance.
An honor.
You're the renowned Angel Dr. Chevalier Dumont, yes? Your reputation precedes you. Chevalier eyes Lance skeptically.
You know me? And more importantly, you're being nice to me?
His eyes flicker between Claude and Lance. Dude, the game demonizes the fuck out of Karma for some reason. It's fucking weird. Because you want to know who the real menace is? That's right. It's fucking Rumple. He's a piece of shit. Lance looks at him perplexed. He looks a little at a loss. Claude, on the other hand, is just standing between the 2 of them, unimpressed. Maybe I should say something. Maybe. Or maybe not. I cannot help but recall my previous conversation with Lance. He told me that he is more comfortable speaking to people on one-on-one. Yet he seems at a loss for words here. He needs to learn how to get out of these situations on his own. This would be good practice for him. Oh no, there's 2 people here. He's freaking the fuck out. I can't say anything. I am the same way. He's got... I won't finish that. Anyway, Chevalier is still squinting at Lance suspiciously. The silence persists for a few more moments before Claude breaks it. He lets out a deep sigh and steps between the 2 of them. You call me judgmental, and yet you're already assuming things about my brother. How very hypocritical of you. Lance is... Claude shrugs. Lance is not me. No, Lance is definitely easier to get along with than Claude. Ugh! Darling, you wound me. Both Lance and Chevalier laugh at that. Claude scowls a little as he turns away and takes my hand. In the moment that Claude looks away, I notice Lance flash a grateful smile at him. So Claude can actually be brotherly when he tries. Chevalier and Lance seem to become a bit more comfortable with each other after the interruption. Claude pulls me away while we continue conversing. Well, at least someone gets along with that man. Lance is gone! Yes! Everyone except you. Because he's... And me, bitch! I hate his ass. Chevalier. Ugh! Yuck! Who named him that, man? Not that Rumple is a much better name, but like, Chevalier is worse! Gross! Boo! Anyway, Claude shrugs. Some things do not change. We part ways after that, Claude going to speak with my family while I make my way toward the marching borders. Princess! Yeah! Waltz is back! He's my favorite. Waltz strides past the conversing Lance and Chevalier to greet me. If it isn't Angel's favorite magician. Favorite is a bit of an overstatement, but thank you. How have your lessons been going? I assume they have been a success, as you haven't made my last 3 lessons with Delora. I was actually going to apologize for that. There is no need. There are young witches who require your counsel a lot more than me. Shortly after Waltz's curse was dispelled, he made good on his deal to help teach me magic. I used to see him... Waltz! Yippee! I used to see him more often when he decided he was going to become a magic tutor for young witches. Waltz is very good with children. How have your Tenebra responsibilities been? Princess? I have been having more nightmares recently, but it is no cause for concern. Waltz, stop. I can see you already worrying. Because he's our beautiful wife. They are canonical in my brain. Like, they are endgame. I don't give a fuck who Wagon is with. It's Waltz all the way for me, brother. It's in my nature to worry about friends, you know. Waltz has been helping me remember some of my lost memories now that he is no longer cursed. With his help, I have been able to recall our previous friendship. Today is a day for celebration. Waltz now, hear me out, was more fun as a kid than he I know! It sucks so bad. But like, his gloves were always weird. He was always kind of a cookie cutter anime boy, in all fairness. Hold on, let me pull up Baby Waltz. But he definitely becomes more cookie cutter as a result of him being the way that he is. God, can I get a decent fucking picture? Damn. Oh yeah, remember when we interrupted him in bed? That was fun. Here he is little. But he is, at least, like, I don't know. He was just a kid. He just looked slightly different than everyone else because he was the only kid in the fucking game. Ew! They made him look super white. I hate that! He is, the brownest character in the game of extremely low fucking bar, but they whitewashed him somehow. How'd you do that? How'd you fucking Okay, sorry, Alex. We're moving on. No more whitewashed waltz. We're moving on. You're not allowed to worry about me. But that is an order from your princess. Walt smiles as he puts a hand on his chest and bows. I have no choice but to obey then, I suppose. Our conversation turns to more lighthearted things after that. The jovial hours pass by in a blur, with the exception of Jurian and Garland, who are both back at the palace because of their important night duties. Everyone I know is there. It's a present break to catch up with all of them. After some time, a large cake is brought floating in by Parfait. Cake! We get to see it! Let's go! I love the prop reveals. Everyone in the room grows quiet as they gape at the massive size of it. The cake is 5 different layers, and without magic would have required at least 6 people to carry. I was under the impression that this cake would be small. Oh, but it is. Lance gasps aloud. Oh, shit. Gasps aloud as he points at the cake. His usual composure is broken completely when he waves his hand in the air, a wonder-filled smile on his face. Brigantian top cake! I haven't had one in years! A what? Oh, I've heard about Brigantian top cakes. They're incredibly difficult to make because of all the different layers, and the largest cakes are said to slant on account of them being so tall. You see, it is small. This one is nowhere near collapsing in on itself. Claude is filled with pride when he tells me that he commissioned some of the best bakers in Angel to undertake the task of making the cake. While the actual decorating was done by professional bakers, the more complex details were apparently crafted by witches. Delora herself has made the trick candles on the top, which refuse to blow out no matter how many times I huff at them. I end up turning the fire to ice to get them to stop burning. Birthday party is over, kind of, sort of. By the time everyone is done with their cake, the daylight has been replaced with swaths of gentle moonlight. The festivities are just about wrapped up for the night when Claude approaches me, insisting that we return to the palace so he can give me his last gift. At first, I assume all of us are simply going to be teleported to the palace, but my family insists that I go on ahead of them. Father has something he wishes to discuss with Delora and Parfait, and Ophelia is in a surprisingly animated conversation with Anise, which makes complete fucking sense. They are basically the same character, who is discussing some complicated recipe with her. I decide to head back to the palace early with Claude after saying my goodbyes to everyone. We are now blue. Have we been blue yet? Like, why the fuck did it do that? They just put like an overlay on top of it, so they didn't even really change it blue, but... Anyway, I expect my stroll through town to be leisurely, but I'm surprised to see bright lights and decorations when we come into the plaza area. Specially crafted lanterns hang from shingles of rooftops, and the town floor is littered with both white and red flower petals. Everywhere I look, there are stalls decorated with lilies and roses. What is all this? A celebration, obviously. The plaza is the heart of the grand festivities. The stalls are filled with games, music, and food. Everything is either lily or rose themed, and everywhere I look I see smiling faces and laughing crowds. Emmeline said that they had wanted some way to celebrate my birthday with the townsfolk, but I was expecting them to distribute a drink, not all of this. There are rose petals too? Only because the rose and lily aesthetic is a good combination, no? No. You're super fucking wrong. That's disgusting, and I'm actually super angry. Ugh, I can't believe you'd even say that to me. You're nasty. You're disgusting and wrong. I can't believe he's so wrong. Anyway, it has absolutely nothing to do with stealing your spotlight, I can assure you. No, of course not. I cannot stop smiling as I take in the sight of the town. It is beautiful at this time of night, and seeing the townsfolk so immersed in all of the festivities makes me happy. Thank you, Claude. Your smile is thanks enough, love. And we both owe thanks to your family, the palace servants and those at the Marchen. I would not have been able to plan all of this without them. Once we are closer to the palace... Cringe! Once we are closer to the palace gates and out of view of everyone else, I lean forward to plant a kiss on Claude's cheek. He blushes immediately. The endearing flush on his cheeks makes me laugh. I love you, Claude. Claude is You're... You're fucking crazy for that one. I have to kill myself now. My finger's hovering over the kill button. I don't have an end stream button anymore. But if I did, I love you too, darling. He puts a hand to the rose locket. Do it. I can't. It'll open 6 other programs and my computer will crash immediately. With all my heart, I loop my arm through his as we make our way through the gates. Oh, we're yellow again. Put the gun down! I plop down on my bed with a sigh. The night celebrations have gone on so long, I am more exhausted than usual. Man. No, God. No. I wish we had gone into the actual, festivities. Instead we just, walked by all of the stalls with games and shit. We didn't even go on a fucking carnival date with Karma when we were, this close to carnival date. And you didn't fucking give us carnival date? You're crazy. You're fucking crazy. For the stream. I yearn for carnival date. Give me carnival date. The night celebrations have gone on so long, I am more exhausted than usual. Sleep feels incredibly alluring, but I sit up as Claude enters the room with a bright smile. And here I was hoping you'd fall asleep so I could wake you with a kiss. That will not be necessary. Claude steps forward and holds out a small box to me. It is simply wrapped with a small blue ribbon on top of it. I wonder what it could be. Claude takes a seat beside me as I unfasten the ribbon at the top and pop the box open. After getting through layers of wrapping paper, I find a smaller box inside. Are we doing fucking forever box or what's up? 2 boxes is too much, man. I pop the box open carefully and stare at what I see inside. Oh, we match! Okay. Pretty good. Pretty good, to be honest. That's a good-ass gift, Claude. Took you how long to give it? 2 years? Stupid piece of shit. That'd have been gift 1 if I were being gay married. Or straight married. It is cute. It's a little cute. I take the pendant and its chain out of the box carefully and trace the petals with my fingers. My eyes immediately go to the rose pendant on Claude's chest. Now we match. My fingers tighten around the lily pendant. With the celebration at the march and for the townsfolk, the cake and this gift. Despite Claude's flair for the dramatic, he was still able to give me so many things today without sacrificing their genuineness. I know, it was a little weird. But he was cute just now, so we can swiftly move on. And I get that we're doing a Sleeping Beauty bit, but lightning bolt, I don't care. You're just being weird. Stop that. You're freaking me out. We're sacrificing their genuineness. You like it? No. Claude's You can't be doing the, I love it. Shut the fuck up, bitch, you're annoying. Claude's expression falls, then just as quickly he looks confused when I laugh. I love it. Shut the fuck. You really do love to tease me, don't you? I put a hand on his knee and lean forward, still gripping the pendant with my fingers. I promise to treasure it always. Thank you, Claude. They should have done a drawing of him putting the necklace on. Lame ass. I agree. Say that. So true. But they should have done it where he was putting it on her. That would have been way fucking better. Suck my nuts. Before he can say anything, I lean forward to kiss him. Our lips meet in a kiss that starts soft and then eases into something deeper. I lean into him, causing him to fall back onto the bed. Oh, you're in one of those moods. Not at all. I just noticed your form was lacking, so I exploited your weakness. Thank you. I know romance better than anyone in the world. I yearn. And they don't do it right at all. They're really bad at it. They're super fucking bad at it. Move over. Let me do it. I got it. Anyway. I should know better than to let my guard down in front of my best pupil. Get around it. Unfortunately, they do. We're in it. Help. Let us go. We're like fucking tied up in the corner. Oh yes, we can't have ew, disgusting, straight, heterosexual sex when someone else is in the room. Surely. I lean toward him again, my lips brushing his once again, but a knock startles us both. When neither of us says anything, the knock comes again. Excuse the interruption, Princess Wagon, Prince Claude. The king desires to speak with the prince in the throne room. Can the fucking king get off our back? Give me the... Can the king get off our back? Damn. He says it is about the celebration budget. Celebration budget? Claude rolls out from underneath me with a sheepish laugh. Well, I was about to not do his voice. Right. I suppose that is important. He calls back that he will be at the throne room shortly. The maid leaves, her footsteps echoing out in the hall. What is this about a celebration budget? Well, many of the supplies we set up in town for your birthday celebration had to be paid for from a fund. Brigantia helped fund some of this too in honor of our marriage, but... He smiles sheepishly. I'm afraid... Happy 905, everybody. I'm afraid I have yet to explain that part to the king. Claude, you fucking freak of nature? Can't we just, like, be a dick about it and be like, it's for the princess, you have to do it for free? Anyway, thank you for your happy 9-5. And yours as well. They are appreciated as always. I stifle a sigh as he smooths down his clothes. I'm about to wave him off when he leans down in front of me once more. He uncurls my fingers from around the lily pendant and holds it up. If you don't mind, darling. He leans back to clasp the necklace at the back of my neck. When he pulls away, the lily pendant hangs from my neck. The small weight reminds me of the glass slipper necklace I used to have in the same place. I'll see you later, Wagon. The two of us say our goodbyes before he rushes from the room, leaving me alone to think of the events on the day. On the events of the day. Days pass after that, and the usual schedule begins to fall back into place. Claude has returned to his usual morning meetings with the king and his class sessions. My own schedule is composed of meetings and lessons, including magic practices with Delora and Waltz. Love his ass, miss him so much. On top of all of those things, I have the lessons that I mentioned to Lance. Lance took my suggestion to ask Claude for assistance to heart, which means that I had to find a time that worked for all three of us. I didn't comprehend that sentence. Hopefully you guys caught it. In the end, we decided on a time after Claude's lesson. That is why we are all gathered in the dining hall now. You're so stiff you could be a sculpture. Lance attempts to relax his shoulders and ends up slouching. Dang, so we spent all this money and we didn't even get to- I know, we just fucking went back. Which sucks so bad. Hello? Let me go on carnival date, please. And then fucking redraw the picture, the character picture, and have him put the necklace around her neck, please. And thank you. It's not hard. And then change her character sprite to match, please. And thank you. It's not that difficult. It's like a minor edit. I am begging for this game to be worth $11. Blinking doesn't count. Lance attempts to relax his shoulders and ends up slouching. Llama! Have you forgotten all of those lessons we took together? I thought your memory was better than that. Lance smiles sheepishly. I notice his eyes flicker to me, then down at the floor again. Am I making him nervous? I could leave. I'm kind of brother-coded. I forgot he called him Llama. I know, it's so bad. It's fucking hysterical, but also horrific. Anyway, I don't know whose voice to do, so I'm just gonna say no. No. They both speak at the same time. Claude sighs as he runs a hand through his hair. For a few moments, annoyance flickers onto his expression, then quickly fades away. I'm sorry, Karma. Apologize by getting it right. I know you can do this. We both took speaking lessons together. Now start again. Lance once again squares his shoulders and looks at the two of us solemnly. He is about to speak when Claude holds out his hand. Why do you look so angry? If you have that scowl fixed to your face, you'll intimidate your audience. Lance cringes as he tries to settle his expression into something gentler. A small smile slips onto his face and Claude sighs again. Now you're smiling.
Do, man. Look. You can't win around here. Shit. Man, come on.
Not to be a Lance defender or anything, but fuck. What exactly is the problem? You know the problem. I'm terrible at crowds. No, that's not it. You've spoken to crowds plenty of times before. This has nothing to do with the audience at all, does it? It's the subject material. Well, of course I would be stressed about the subject material. This is a speech announcing my inevitable ascension to the throne. How can I not be stressed about it? Most times I feel like I'm not worthy of the title king. When Claude remains silent, Lance crosses his arms and looks at him quizzically. Karma? Claude's only response is a sullen glare. Why is he so angry? I don't understand. Don't understand? It is an honor to be crowned a king. We've been preparing for that duty our whole lives. You've known as long as I that this honor would one day be bestowed upon us. Never once have I seen you struggle or complain. And yet now that I am out of the picture, you suddenly flounder? Karma! I did not give up that title just so you could bring shame to it. Karma! What's your issue, man? Jeez! Lance stares at him, obviously shocked by this turn in conversation. My surprise mirrors his. What? What? Both of us speak in unison. Oh, but we don't get the wagon Lance moment. Bro, I know! What the fuck? I'm disappointed in you, Lance. The anger on Claude's face is alarmingly palpable. He glares at Lance, who is looking more and more like he might succumb beneath that gaze. This is not right, but... Interject. Okay, thank God. I was like, we gotta say something. I thought this was meant to be a practice session, not a lecture. Chastising someone is not assisting them, Claude. This may be their lesson, but Claude is being unnecessarily harsh. Wagon. We frown at each other for a few moments, our gazes locked. In the end, it is Claude that deflates and looks away first. The vulnerable expression on his face is both heartbreaking and confusing. He looks guilty, which means that he knows he is in the wrong. So why is he acting like this? Karma, is something wrong? Claude scowls. I am unable to withhold my opinion. I step forward, eyebrows furrowed. Lance was simply asking for help, and now you're angry at him for some reason. This is not about him. This is about you, isn't it? Claude? If this is about my being stressed, then I apologize. I want to do my best with giving this speech. The last I want to do is embarrass Father. The dining hall doors open and a few servants enter, breaking apart the conversation. Lance and Claude immediately fix a smile to their faces as if nothing happened. We'll continue this next time, Lance. Of course. The two give each other courteous nods before Claude turns and walks away. As he passes by me, he leans over and whispers into my ear. I'm sorry you had to see that, darling. I'll explain later. I thought he was gonna threaten us or something for some reason. These are the last words he speaks before he leaves the dining hall. Not too long after he has left, I follow behind, gripping the lily necklace tightly in my fingers and grumbling to myself. And just when I thought things were returning to normal... Okay, perfect. I have to run another ad. Oh, shit. Oh, fuck. I was like, oh, good timing. I'm running an ad at the chapter mark. But I'm running an ad at the 4th chapter mark. Help. I think we're going to start Rumple's route on Monday. At this rate, if it's only 5 chapters like I'm thinking it is, we will be doing Rumple's route on Monday. Starting it. and then probably finishing it on that Friday. And then we'll only have 2 more after that. And then I'm gonna have to pick a new game! Nobody fucking panic, man. We can handle it. Maybe. I've gotta run an ad. I will be right back. Everybody sit tight during the ad. Okay, I'm back now. Whoops.
This will be the last point, Princess.
Jurian rushes forward without counting down to the last second. She holds her sword low, and I can tell that she means to strike at my hip. I bring up my blade to block her attack. The swords collide, but not for long. Her blade slides past mine and rises to meet my shoulder. I step back just in time to catch her next strike. This was supposed to be a practice session with Claude, but he disappeared earlier this morning before I could catch him. Ever since that strange fight happened with his brother, he has been conveniently busy. Why is he avoiding me? Thank you. It is good to be back. Hope you guys enjoyed the break. Not the ad. Fuck the ad. No one likes the ad. The break. I am barely able to dodge Jurian's next strike as I delve deeper into my thoughts. It is not just Claude's business that bothers me. Ever since he and Lance fought, I have been having nightmares that are most likely fueled by the Tenebrum. They tend to be an after effect of negative energy. I feel an agitated strand of electricity snake its way up my arm and quickly shake it off before Jurian can touch me. Though I am fast enough to dispel the magic, I am not quick enough to bring my sword up in time. Jurian gains the final point before tapping her blade on my shoulder.
You were distracted. Are you okay, princess?
Are we doing a girl moment? Are we doing a fucking girl moment? Are we doing a girl moment? If you know what I mean? A fucking girl moment, man? I am fine.
Does this have anything to do with Prince Claude? He seems a little off-kilter lately. Garland said yesterday that he looked tired enough to collapse right there in the hallways.
He is, as always, overworking himself. He will be fine. He is obviously not alright. I should try speaking with him later. Girl moment! Jurian doesn't get a whole lot of moments in the first game because she is basically just another one of the guys, which sucks. When girl characters are just another one of the guys and they hate all the other women, it sucks. Not that Jurian hates Wagon, obviously. I just like when girls have girl moment. And they should get to have a moment as a treat. I should try speaking with him later. I don't remember if I said the part. I sheath the sword I'm holding. Thank you for agreeing to meet for a practice on such late notice.
It is always a pleasure, Your Highness. It's an honor for Garland and I to help you with your swordplay.
After sheathing her own sword, Jurian and I make our way over to the tree stump where we have stored our supplies. The last items we pick up are the flowers resting carefully at its base. Huh? Can you fucking go back? The last items we pick up are the flowers resting What? We make our way silently through the trees and into a clearing where a single gravestone lies illuminated in the gentle sunlight. Oh my god, I forgot Fritz dies out of left fucking field. I totally forgot. In Karma's route, the death of the route is Fritz. Completely slipped my mind, man. God, that's funny. Okay. Anyway, Jurian heads over to the gravestone first and sets down her flower.
Hello, Fritz.
Rip, so true. She smiles as I set down my lily. I take a step back to look at the gravestone, which has Fritz's name and title engraved onto it. Fritz. For a few moments, I am stuck staring at the gravestone in quiet contemplation. No matter how many years pass, I will never forget the smile he wore on his face as he died, or the apology he uttered with his dying breath. After everything that he did, the least I can do is visit him here once a month to pay my respects. Normally, it is Claude that is here to pay his respects with me. Which doesn't make any sense. They didn't fucking know each other, but I guess for girlfriend support. Which, whatever. I'm not upset. I lean down beside the gravestone and speak to Fritz briefly. It is a small thing, just a simple prayer for him. Jurian does the same. When we are done, I bow my head slightly and whisper, I hope that you are happy wherever you are, Fritz. After we are done, we head back to the palace together. What a weird scene. Wildly unnecessary. Our time together is brief. We both have our own commitments for the day. Jurian has nights she must supervise, and I have an obligation to meet with my father and the counselors. After exchanging farewells at the front gate, we both go our own ways. Oh, hi, Gennaro. Your terrible, really horrific facial hair. Do you have an ascending hairline? Because it's sure as shit not receding, I'll tell you that right now. Much to my surprise, the throne room is devoid of the usual advisors when I enter. The king is seated at the head of a mostly empty table, which doesn't exist in this room, but sure, go off, say whatever you want. Claude is the only one that sits beside him. The two of them pause in their conversation to look up at me. Claude flashes me a sheepish smile. I scowl back at him. The king looks between the two of us quizzically, but does not comment as I take my seat on the opposite side of the table. I thought this was a meeting to discuss the implementation of a new law. Where are the counselors? Father just smiles at me.
There was a change in schedule. It turns out that the law we were meant to discuss today has not been appropriately plotted. The counselors were meant to have proposals ready today, but I concluded that many of them were not aptly prepared, and thus decided to reschedule.
Their disorganization is astounding.
No, it is no matter. The meeting has already been rescheduled to a time that is more convenient for everyone. Seeing as this time had opened up, I decided to reserve it for the both of you instead.
Father returns to regard Claude.
Have you given any thought to the situation I posed yesterday?
I have. Situation? I know Claude and Father meet on a regular basis for special meetings, but Claude does not tell me much beyond the fact that the king usually tests him in some way, which is very weird. They keep saying that they have meetings, and I'm like, what are you guys talking about? It can't be anything interesting or good. Claude turns to look at me, his expression solemn. The king gave me a hypothetical scenario a few days ago and told me to come up with a solution to it. The solution is this. A threat to the kingdom of Angel stands at the outskirts of the country. The threat is a dangerous group of witches. Witches. The word forces me to reflect on Angel's current situation. Though tension between witches and humans has significantly decreased over the past few years, there is still undoubtedly corrupt witches in our midst. It does not matter that the fairy tale curse does not exist anymore. There are still witches who use their magic to threaten humans. I've been trying my best to settle these affairs as the Tenenbaum bearer, but even my influence is not all-powerful. I suppose the king's scenario isn't inappropriate given the kingdom's current social climate. Thought we were over this. I guess not. The game loves to reiterate and repeat things. It's really cool. I think that, but I still cannot help but feel my heart sink at the thought. Though Claude tells me that I should not blame myself for these incidents, I cannot help it. Even though I am being helped by a lot of people, it is still my obligation to speak with the witches and smooth out the tensions between them and humans. I shake my head as if to physically dispel the thoughts from my mind, then turn my attention back to the conversation at hand.
In this scenario, the witches have already harmed some of the citizens. Given this kingdom's previous history with them, what action would you take as king to dispel this threat?
Both Father and I stare critically at Claude. My answer still remains the same, Your Majesty. I would refuse to meet this threat with hostility until I have captured and spoken to them. I don't believe that I alone would have the right to judge them. I would speak with a witch on the matter before passing judgment.
How would you explain this to the townsfolk?
What do you mean?
What if many of the citizens, still wary of witches because of the war, advocated for an immediate death sentence?
I don't give a shit about what the people has to say. Fuck you, death sentence. I am Jesus Christ of the kingdom. Suck my nuts, basically. Also, are you forgetting that your literal daughter, who is a witch, is in the room? That's us, man. You're being an asshole. I know we didn't leave off on, great terms at the end of the game for karma, but, it's been 2 years. Surely things have improved. Remember when he died? That was fun. Anyway, moving on. I feel a soft pang in my heart at the statement. Whenever Father says things like that, I cannot help but imagine the atrocities the witches had to face here in Angel during the war.
I would say that such a decision would be inhuman. In my eyes, condemning anyone to death is an unforgivable crime. He is anti-death penalty.
No, dude, me too. I also miss the bad endings. Let's fucking kill these guys! Unfortunately, there is only okay and great. And great is certainly relative. I feel like having us go through the, okay endings would be a bad idea. Because it would just be, mildly disappointing as opposed to fucking hysterical. And I don't think we watched the okay ending for Rod. Okay, Gennaro, I have a scenario. Your wife tries to keep you. Do you try to be a parent?
Gennaro says, "No, of course not. Me, a father? Please." Unless I am partaking in one very particular route in the game. I forget the route. I think it's Waltz's. Could be Fritz's, though. It's really anyone's guess. Then I will be a parent. My bad. Only that one boy, though.
In my eyes, condemning anyone to death is an unforgivable crime. Besides that, everyone deserves a fair trial, no matter if they be a human, a witch, or a fairy. Even given Wagon's efforts to heal the divide between witches and humans, the rift still exists. The relationship hangs on a precious thread. If we disregard a trial, we risk harming that already fragile relationship.
Then what would you do when faced with this imminent threat?
It goes without saying that I would speak with the Tenebrorum Bearer first, since she and the Lucius Bearer are in charge of maintaining the peace at the most basic level. It is imperative that we seek their counsel first. At the same time, we should prioritize the safety of the civilians that might be in danger. Second, intensify security. But no action is to be taken before we ask for the opinions of the bearers. In this scenario, it would make more sense to speak with the Tenebrorum Bearer first.
Imagine that the Tenebrorum Bearers...
Okay, quit moving the goalpost, man. I'm giving you my fucking answer. Shut the fuck up.
Imagine that the Tenebrorum Bearer is unavailable in this situation. The sole responsibility to act lies on your shoulders, Claude.
Both Claude and I stare at the king. Unavailable?
In this hypothetical situation, yes.
Oh, dude, he is... We're right here. I know. This scene is awful. This scene is painful. What are we doing here, man? Hello? Stop. Shut the fuck up, Gennaro. You're being annoying. I was a dad defender in whatever arc he died in, but you're being a piece of shit right now. In the Claude arc.
Anyway, perhaps the Tenebrorum Bearer is in an important meeting.
Get her out of the meeting? It's important? I don't give a rip about your important meeting. There's also... People are dying, Gennaro. Jesus.
Whatever the case, she is unavailable. Well, you cannot rely on anyone else. What decision do you make?
What if she's in an unavoidable meeting? I don't know the kids. I know. Okay, hold on. Let me check. Remain silent, which is our favorite thing to do. This is not my place to speak. The king may have called me here for some reason to, like, watch this stupid ass shit. But whatever. But this is Claude's test. Besides, I trust that he knows how to answer. Claude finally speaks, a little hesitantly at first.
With all due respect, Your Majesty, a king rules for the people, yes?
Even if he was just a human king, he has a responsibility to oversee the safety of all civilians in his kingdom, human or not. Thus, I would say it is necessary that he seek guidance from others. The kingdom has a responsibility to work with the witches to solve this problem. Such collaboration is vital to maintaining peace. To skew that balance even more by condemning a group of witches to death would not just be a fool's move, it would be an echo of the same heartlessness that started the war in the first place. The king looks at him, thoughtful. When the Great War broke out, Brigantia was uninvolved. My father has always disliked war. He has always believed that violence only begets more violence. It is for this reason that we did not come to anyone's aid in the previous skirmish. I heard about the notorious Hilda growing up, stories of her radiant beauty and strength, of her intimidating but regal existence. When those stories became tales of a woman whose heart was made of ice, I was not fearful. I was saddened. I often wondered what could be done to bring such a noble figure to madness. I met a good many witches in Angel, and I can say that with pure conviction that there are many that can be trusted, despite the current divide. A king may wear a crown on his head and have the final say, but he must always take advice from those that have more experience than him. It is strange to see Claude so humble. Speaking of outside of hypotheticals, Your Majesty, I am extremely lucky. Wagon will make the perfect queen. She's a natural-born ruler who has learned balance better than any of us. You still manage to be a flatterer, no matter the situation. I say that, but I cannot help but smile. At first, there is no immediate response in Claude's words. Father looks thoughtful as he strokes his chin and taking in the words. Then abruptly, he laughs. Claude flushes faintly. Did I speak out of line, Your Majesty?
No, not at all. I am just amused. I do not know the Brigantian king well, but on the occasions that I have met with him, he has spoken just as you have. He is a man that upholds his morals no matter the danger. Some may see it as selfishness or naivete, but in the end he has always strived for balance and peace. That is the reason you took up the sword, isn't it? To protect the peace?
The flush on Claude's cheeks becomes a dark pink. Seeing him so embarrassed in front of the king makes me smirk.
Yes, Your Majesty.
I should also mention that he plays with swords because he finds them flashy. She's so funny for saying that. Love her.
Ah! Wagon, darling!
The king laughs before waving the comment off with a smile.
I am not worried about you, either of you. When the time comes for you to wear crowns, I know that this kingdom will be in capable hands.
It is a blessing that I still have father here to help to help guide my hand. I have always been prepared to take on responsibility as the queen, but I also know that it is with a very heavy weight. I am glad I am closer with father now, so that I can seek his counsel.
The two of you are excused.
Okay, fuck you, man. Why the fuck was I here? Why? Huh? You stupid piece of shit. Hate this guy. Hate that guy. Hate that guy.
Your Majesty? That is all I required of you today, Claude. The same goes for you, Wagon. I will let you know when I have rescheduled the meeting with the advisors.
I thought it was already rescheduled. Hey, wait a minute. Get your ass back here. You said it was rescheduled for a more convenient time for everybody. I remember you literally said that mere minutes ago. Okay? I hate it here. Ugh, this scene was wildly frustrating.
Both Claude and I sigh out in unison when the king excuses us.
The two of us have barely left our seats when the king speaks again.
I am sorry, Wagon.
Sorry?
I hope you didn't find that scenario offensive in any way.
I did, actually. You were a piece of shit. Perhaps once I might have, but I understand father's reasoning. I am glad he is making an effort to understand my feelings, at least.
I never meant to imply you were not doing a good job at keeping the balance as the Tenebrar bearer. I am proud of you and the work you put into this kingdom.
I like how they had to, yeah, he was a piece of shit. They had to, shoehorn this conversation in so we would be less mad at the king for him being kind of a dick. Because the writers must have been like, oh, he was being kind of an asshole. Let's fix it by having him apologize after the fact. Whatever. Thank you, Your Majesty.
I wouldn't mind being called father every once in a while, you know.
You haven't earned it. Bitch. The two of us exchange smiles before I turn back to Claude. By the time I turn around, however, he is already at the doors. I would be too, man. Even as I watch, he passes through them without glancing back. Oh, hey, you dick! You get back here, too! My earlier contentedness fades away into agitation. He is not getting away. I hurriedly say my farewells to the king before rushing out the door after Claude. Hey! Hey! Claude has only made it a few steps down the hallway when I hold out my hand and gather ice at my fingertips. What the hell?
Ah!
The ice gathers at Claude's feet and roots him in place. Not so fast, coward prince.
Wagon, love, did you stop me just so you could tell me how impressed you were with my performance in there?
He seems about to say something else before he stops to look at me. The glower on my face must be intense, for it makes his good cheer wither away immediately. Explain, now.
Oh, you mean about the...
Oh my god! No! We were literally going to talk to him, you stupid piece of fucking shit! God damn it! We've gone for 2 seconds. Okay, we iced Claude in place, because he was trying to run away from us, right? We iced him in place, and we were like, Claude, what the fuck is going on? And Claude was about to be like, oh, you mean about the... And then Lance shows up. Fuck. God damn it. And we were trying to talk to him, man. Just at the most frustrating scene of all fucking time, Lance shows up, and now we're gonna be even more frustrated. Claude stops to glance at someone approaching behind me. I barely have any time to follow his gaze before I notice that Lance has stepped in between us, frowning. Karma!
Llama?
Lance narrows his eyes at him. I challenge you! What? I challenge you to... Excuse me! Kind of how I'm feeling right now. She's... In the fucking text being bigger is so funny. Okay, sorry. Lance's eyes widen when he sees me standing there. He sees the ice at my fingertips, then at his brother's feet, before cravingly stepping back with an apologetic smile. God damn, the game is fucking loud as shit for some reason. I'm turning it down. Sorry. Sorry. I got so riled up, I didn't even realize you were standing there, Princess Wagon. You should freeze his feet to the ground for that, Wagon. You're gonna get ice too? Exactly. Carmel was absolutely right. Let's blast his ass. I ignore Claude and turn to Lance. I need to speak with Claude about something important, Lance, so unless this challenge of yours cannot wait, I would prefer you come back later. My apologies. Sorry, I read ahead. And I'm... It's difficult for kids your tradition to challenge those you want to prove yourself to. Lance narrows his eyes at Claude. So that is why I'm here to challenge you, Claude. In the end, he is so riled up, he completely ignored me. Claude looks at him for a few moments, disgruntled, then he smirks. Usually I'm the one to challenge you, but if you insist, you're going to have to let me choose the challenge. I haven't forgotten the last time you chose chess. It was not my fault. People were cheering for me because I had the better disposition. Do you know how difficult it is to win at chess when people are cheering at you? Lance inclines his head toward me. Why don't we let the princess select the challenge? Actually, bitch, I was trying to talk to him before your goofy ass came in here and interrupted. Dickhead, get off the screen, asshole! I was busy! Oh wait, I didn't even read that. Claude looks like he's about to protest before he notices the frown on my face. Fine. After you select this challenge, I'll tell you everything you want to know, Wagon. No more running. You promise? I promise. Either I can put them on a level playing field, or I can give Claude the advantage. Sword fighting. Okay, the challenge is hide and seek, Lance, go hide. So true. Get him the fuck out of here. Also, it's hurting my throat so bad. It's literally my fault for picking the voice, but that's okay. An uncharacteristically intense light comes into Claude's eyes as he stares at his brother. A good suggestion, Wagon. He glares at Lance. Fight me! What? Lance looks obviously disheartened. He looks at me, and for a few moments his eyes are so pleading I almost feel the need to reconsider. We will settle this with a duel. It will be very traditional and straightforward. No cheating, and we will only use practice swords. I'm giving Claude the advantage here, but regardless of what happens, I do believe this will help the two of them see eye to eye. I don't know how, but sure, go off, whatever. We can have either Jurian or Garland oversee the match, so long as they are not busy. Sorry, Lance, this is my wife. I don't know why you expected me to pick chess for you, dude. Okay, pussy? This is my fucking wife. You just got here like a week and a half ago. What do I care about your bitch-ass opinion? What is this? Is my little brother a coward? No! I accept your challenge! A competitive glint sparkles in Lance's eyes as he holds Claude's gaze. Good. Now that you two have decided on a challenge, you are done. Now, if you don't mind, Lance, I have business with my fiancé. Lance bobs his head politely at me. Of course. Thank you for your assistance, Princess Wagon. Bitch, get out of here. He flashes me a grateful smile before turning away, not even bothering to say anything to his brother. Yeah, get the fuck out of here. I don't give a shit. I don't give a fuck what you gotta say you're wrong. I'm annoying. Once Lance is gone, I turn to Claude with my eyebrows raised. You told me before that you would tell me what was happening between you and Lance, that you would tell me what has been bothering you. You've been insisting that you are fine when you are not. Because of you, I have been having nightmares. You have? Wagon, I had no idea. I apologize. If you are sorry, then you will tell me what is going on. Claude nods his head at me slowly, defeated. After dispelling the ice at his feet, I half lead, half pull him back to my room. Our room. When we return, I take a seat by the window while Claude makes himself comfortable at the piano bench. As always, you are trying to run from your responsibilities. I must disagree with you. I have shirked no responsibilities. But you have. You have a responsibility to tell me when something is wrong. You made a promise 2 years ago that there would be no more secrets between us. For a few, I hate that the only arc they have is secrets. Like that's the problem twice now. You want to know who was super open and honest with us all the time? That's right. Waltz. He'd never fucking let us down like that, man. He was the guy. He was our man. He was honest. He told us what his curse was almost immediately. He didn't hide his magic. He was like, we were childhood friends. Let me do a puppet show to show you. And he did. It was a little weird, but at least he told us and was honest about it. No notes, man. 0 notes. For a few moments, Claude only looks at me quietly. He looks somewhere in between melancholy and thoughtful, almost like he is lost in his own reverie. Reverie twice. Have to kill. When he finally does speak, he looks calmer. Allow me to start off first by apologizing. There are 2 reasons I never said anything. The first is simple. I thought that these feelings I had would be fleeting. I didn't expect them to cling to me so persistently. And my second reason, he sighs. Every person has their share of pride. I know what I'm feeling is petty, which is why I would have rather not brought it up to you. I furrow my eyebrows at Claude. Claude, you know you can always talk to me. I'd rather you tell me these things openly without me having to pry them out of you. Unless you would rather I shock the truth out of you. A small strand of electricity travels up my arm on accident when I say that, but Claude seems to think I have called it on purpose. He shrinks back. I think I would rather not make you angry. The last time you were irritated, you sliced off my hair. He puts a hand absently to the back of his neck and grumbles. You deserved that. Turning your back on someone during a fight is antagonizing. Claude sighs. I'm sorry, I'm just in the habit of keeping things secret. I've told you before that my father and mother are all about appearances, haven't I? Father believes that keeping things to oneself is a good way to show self-discipline and control. I've always lived by those words. It wasn't until I met you, random daddy issues lore drop, man. It wasn't until I met you that I began to realize how important sharing the truth was. He leans back against the piano, eyes narrowed slightly in thought. Finally, he shrugs his shoulders. If you want the pathetic truth, then I'll share it willingly. My current irritation comes from a lack of self-confidence, my brother's and mine. What? Hard to believe, isn't it? I think back to the way Claude interacted with the king in the throne room. To me, he seemed quite at ease. He crosses his arms and groans. Lance is like a mirror. What? Whenever he is here, I can't help but think on the things that I left behind and the responsibilities I have before me. And not only that, but Lance's insecurities remind me of my own. His stem from his lack of confidence in leading, and his lack of confidence. And mine stem from being inadequate at following. All my life, I've been training to be the Brigantian king. I was a good student. I could afford missing my lessons because I was naturally gifted. I don't mean to gloat, I swear. Of course not. He sighs. Anyway, every lesson is a struggle. Your father holds different opinions on politics and responsibilities. Sometimes when I am sitting in with the council listening to them make decisions based off of Angel's conflicted history, I feel out of my element. Staying with you in Angel was my choice, and I wouldn't change it for the world, but sometimes I miss home. I miss the comfort of responsibilities that I know. So the reason you were irritated at Lance earlier was because you're jealous of him? I suppose if you wanted to simplify the problem, yes, but jealousy is such an ugly word. He runs a hand through his hair and sighs. On my most dreadful days, I cannot help but feel that I was easy to replace in the first place. Lance has always been well liked by everyone. but you and Lance are nothing alike. No, not at all. But I at least know he's just as capable of being competent. Yet when I see him now being so insecure of himself, I feel doubly irritated. If he is going to take up the title that I have been training for all my life, the least he can do is take it seriously. He is, man! But he's talking about his feelings right now, so we have to be nice. So in the end, you are worried about him. Claude looks at me surprised. Am I wrong? You worry about him, and you worry about yourself. The more I talk about it, the pettier it seems. This is why I didn't want to bring it up in the first place. Okay. I think I have to sympathize with him. I don't know why I tease him. Oh, we actually tease him against all fucking odds. Perhaps a change of atmosphere is for the better. Karma, he's trying. I know, it's like, he is very clearly trying. So glad we get to sword fight later for no fucking reason. Perhaps a change in atmosphere is for the better. Sorry, I'm just checking something really quick. Okay. I have the right choice indicator turned off, so I was wondering where it was. I'm disappointed, Chameleon Prince. Claude looks up at me, startled. What? Claude sometimes refers to himself by that nickname here when he is being dramatic, like during our sword practices. It is just an extension of his nickname from home, but it seems to do wonders to his self-confidence. I stand up and cross my arms. The Chameleon Prince I know is always overfilled with confidence. He faces his problems head-on and does not let his emotions get the better of him. I would go so far as to say that he even shares his problems with confidence, without thinking of them as a weakness. The man sitting here before me is indeed a petty man, but only because he lowers himself to such. Wagon, I'm afraid you've been demoted to just chameleon now. Ah! Claude rises from the bench and takes a step toward me. Did you just say demoted? Your heart is as cold as ice, love. Perhaps, but at least I wear my ice-cold heart on my sleeve. Claude puts a hand to his chest and sighs out dramatically. Much to my relief, he is now wearing a smile on his face. And yet that wasn't always the case, was it? Somehow you always manage to upstage me, darling. You know how hard I've been working to be the perfect prince. Of course I do, and that is exactly why I think you hiding things from me is so foolish. It may be wise to hide things in front of other people, but I am not just some other person, am I? Of course not. You see, you may think keeping your emotions tucked away makes you appear more confident, but I know you better than anyone else when you are trying to hide something. Oh wait, that didn't make any sense. That's fine. Yes, because you're my fiancé, right? Of course, but also because I am the Tenor bearer. You couldn't hide anything negative from me even if you wanted to. A fair point. In retrospect, this whole problem was far more exaggerated than it needed to be. Claude winks at me. I never do anything half-heartedly, darling. Okay, so true. I am relieved that the gloomy mood from earlier has dissipated. One of the good things about Claude is that he usually recognizes when he is in the wrong and tries his best to remedy the situation quickly. He's just stubborn and needs to learn to rely on me more. Which is the same fucking plot from Rod's Evermore arc. It was he overworked himself and kept secrets. And now we are doing the exact same fucking thing again. If it happens a third time, I'm going $11 for the same fucking plot over and over again. What happened to the sophistication you displayed in the throne room earlier? Oh, I am always the picture of sophistication. Right. Claude's smile becomes softer. Anyway, thank you, Wagon. I think I needed that talk. It is ironic that Claude is the one that taught me that secrets are dangerous when he himself is still learning to share them. You do not need to thank me, but shouldn't you apologize to Lance? Claude's expression snaps into something somber. Nonsense. Lance and I will figure this out as we always do, by competing one-on-one. Passionate challenges always encourage Lance to spill the contents of his heart to other people. I'm not the only one in my family who's good at keeping secrets, you know. Whoa! Fucking lightning bolt, Jesus! It's Lance talking. Hell. I live in hell. The moment Claude became engaged to you, I became next in line for the Brigantian throne. Father has been waiting for me to give a speech officially announcing that. And how is the speech going? Terribly. The color kill, it's very bad. Terribly. I die a slow death in front of large crowds. Claude has always been better at the spotlight than I have. I prefer speaking to people one-on-one. Large crowds are terrifying. Is it possible that there is more to that worry than Lance is letting on? Don't worry about Lance. I only ever provoke him when I need him to talk to me. That is so fucking funny. That's a huge brother moment for sure. It is my responsibility as an older brother to set him straight after all. You both are so problematic. Problematic is also really funny. Well, we are brothers. I'm just lucky that I have a certain lovely witch here to listen to my woes. Thank you for that, Wagon. With that, the heart of the problem is solved at least. The both of us are both able to go our own ways with confidence. Chapter 5. Okay, just kidding. That would be crazy, though. Things have finally winded down for the day when I make my way back to my bedroom. I'm almost there when I stop, seeing two familiar faces. Oh, hey, guys. Oh, Wagon. Good evening, Princess Wagon. Both Emmeline and Lance smile at me. Hello, Emmeline. Hello, Lance. I glance between the two of them, curious. Are you the two of you on some nighttime stroll? Oh, no. Prince Lance was assisting me with a dance lesson. A dance lesson? Normally, Rod helps me with dancing, but since we've been learning a Brigantian-style dance this week, I had Lance assist me instead. In exchange for extra dance lessons, Emmeline has been helping me with some other things. Other things? Are you heading back now? I am. I saw Claude pass by earlier. He seemed in better spirits than before. Lance's expression darkens at the mention of his brother. Karma! Emmeline looks at him, curious. Oh, right. You have that challenge with him in a few days. It seems that they figured out a time then. Lance narrows his eyes. I will destroy him! Oh my. And here I thought Rod and I were competitive. Anyway, we're going to head out now. Good night, Wagon. The two of them pass me by, and I continue on my way to my bedroom. Why did that scene exist? Didn't need it. Cut it. Put it in the garbage. Doesn't need to be there. The first thing I see upon entering the room is Claude standing in front of the wardrobe, looking deep in thought. He mumbles lightly and casts a glance over his shoulder at me as I enter. What, no knock? Not when this is my room, no. Not that you ever knocked before! I can't believe she said that. I cannot believe she said that. You're crazy. You're mad. He pauses briefly, his eyes fixated on me for some reason. Without even realizing it, I grasped the pendant at my neck. What, is there something on my face? I just noticed you were wearing the necklace. My fingers loosen around the pendant. Why wouldn't I be wearing it? It's become my most valuable possession after all. I can see the recognition in Claude's eyes when I laugh. He glances again at the necklace, eyes soft. I'm glad I could get you something you can always wear around. As for me, he returns his attention to the closet. Looking for something? Yes, one of my nightshirts. He sighs as he squints into the wardrobe. I already know what shirt he is looking for. I am amazed that he has not already found it, considering I can spot it on the bed. I slowly inch my way toward the shirt as he closes the closet doors. I manage to grab it and hide it behind my back just as he turns around. Wagon, have you seen? He stops when he notices the way I am standing against the bed. Slowly, what the fuck is going on? Whatever. Slowly, he begins to make his way over to me, a casual smile on his face. I wonder where it could be. He stops right in front of me and then, without any words at all, attempts to grab the shirt from behind me. I dodge out of the way just in time and circle the bed to put some distance between us. Not that there's much space back there. He raises an eyebrow. What's this? Are we playing some kind of game now? A game? This is no game. I'm just getting back at you for keeping secrets from me. I try my best to frown at him, but to no avail. The smile keeps coming back to my lips, no matter how much I try to force it off. Perhaps if you ask me very nicely for the shirt, I shall return it. Claude takes a step forward and lays a hand on his chest. Wagon, my love, could you please return my shirt? Dramatics aside, I cannot help but cave beneath his pleading gaze. I'm about to hand the shirt to him when he reaches forward in swift motion and snatches it out of my hands. Hey! Claude shrugs out of his coat with a coy smile. You should know better than to let your guard down in front of me, darling. He turns his back to me and pulls off his shirt and reaches for the other one. Let my guard down in front of him? Hardly. I approach him swiftly, and before he can react, push him down to the bed. Ugh, this isn't fun anymore. I was like, change your shirt, babe. But now they're like touching, and it's not very fun anymore. He only has a few moments to stare at me, baffled before I can pin him down. Who's letting their guard down now? Are you sure I didn't let my guard down on purpose? I roll my eyes at him when he grins, then lean down to plant a kiss on his lips. I loosen my grips on his wrists, but only enough so that I can lace them through his fingers. Before I realize it, I am lying beside him rather than looming above him. Wow! He's naked! Whoa! Ew! If I'm being honest, I much prefer this to you pinning me down on the bed. Pussy. Boo! Boo! No taste. No taste. Why, does your self-esteem crumble when I get the better of you? Still as sharp as a knight's blade, I see. Sharper than you, in any case. Trying to get through it fast, guys. I'm so sorry. Claude opens his mouth to say something, but I do not give him the chance to retort. Ah! I seal his lips with a kiss. He pulls me closer and brushes a finger against my lips. Ugh. It truly is impressive that you always manage such sharp words, even in moments like these. I scrolled down, tell me when it's safe. I will, Cat, I will. I'll have to admit that you have the better comebacks. Are you actually admitting that I am better than you at something? Her face actually looks pretty good here, all things considered. They did a pretty decent job drawing this picture, now that I'm like actually looking at it. I have to give you credit where credit is due. Ew, kissing again, cringe. He draws closer to me and sets his hand on the small of my back. His lips once again brush mine. I can feel the heat rise in my cheeks, and fearing that I am blushing, quickly bury my head into Claude's chest so he cannot see my face. I can feel his laugh reverberate through my body. Your embarrassment is endearing, Wagon. God damn, this one's long. You realize you do this to yourself, though. I have no idea what you're talking about. You remember the last time you set up the rose bath for me, and then threw a towel at me and screamed when I insisted you join me? Why would you bring that up again? Because seeing your blushing smile is a precious thing. He puts a hand to my face and tilts my head upward gently. His lips are already parted when they meet mine, and they are all that I can focus on. I barely notice when Claude runs his hand down the small of my back. His lips are still pressed to mine. He breaks the kiss and trails his lips down the side of my neck. Oh god. Oh. I can feel his warm breath in my ear when he whispers, Well, I'm assuming you pushed me down for a reason. My heartbeat is too loud for— oh god, this is taking forever and it's getting weird, man. Fuck, help! 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 It's 10 o'clock, let me go! My heartbeat is too loud for me to even process my whirling thoughts. I decide to let my retort go when Claude presses his lips against lips to mine again, sending a shiver of warmth from my head into the rest of my body. Oh my god, a fucking fade to black. That's crazy! The burden of my responsibilities falls away from my body that night. All remains as I fall into the comforting silence is Claude's warmth and his gentle breath at my neck. And hopefully nothing else. Okay, chapter 5! Yeah! We got through 4 chapters tonight. Yikes! Yikes. Yikes, 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 yikes. December? Wait, what the fuck? Are you serious? It's been 6 months since we've played? That's crazy. That's fucking crazy. Okay, Rod chapter 5, Claude chapter— what the fuck is going on? What's going on? Yes, I've saved. No trouble. Don't look at that. Don't look at my fucking background. Okay, anyway, sorry cat. It's safe now. Forgot to mention. I get fucking mind boggled that it's been 6 months. I mean, 3 of them were spent playing Yakuza 0, so maybe it's not as you know. unlikely, as I thought. But anyway, it's old week, ladies and gentlemen, and Kiki is fucking back. She has been streaming lately, and I love her and miss her, so we will go hang out with her, obviously. She's working on a Game Boy cartridge cover or something along those lines. So we will go hang out with her as a treat. I thank you so much for hanging out with me during a most excellent Cinderella Phenomenon Evermore stream. Glad we got to have sex with Karma before we left. Yup! You are most welcome for the $11 game. $11 game night. I will not see anybody tomorrow. Damn. Well, I could if I wanted. Cause we have to be there at 9:30. If we have to be there at 9:30, I think I could have a little bully as a treat. I'll see what I can do. I'll keep everybody posted. But point is, I might be here tomorrow. I might not be here tomorrow. I have a really late night event going on. I'll probe for more information. You'll see the poster in various spots tomorrow. I'll also say something in Discord if it comes to a no stream situation. I'm sorry for lying on the schedule. Totally fucking slipped my mind that I had this going on. But I know now, and so do you. So I will see everybody at some point. Godspeed out there. I love you.